All right, what's going on, everybody? It is Madman Plant, and I'm about to jump in the chair here with Emilio, and we're going to talk a whole bunch about mental health, tattooing, autism, CBD, cannabis, and much, much more. And for those that are watching, I don't like tattoos. I really don't. But I love getting them because of the art. I just don't like getting them because of the pain. But today it's going to be good because you're going to take good care of me. And what's great about this is, remember the first tattoo artist that I had faked on me, which really sucked. And that was annoying. But I would have to drive all the way to Baltimore, and that would have been horrible. I'm able to stay right here in Fredericksburg, drove 20 minutes down the road. And now, not only will I be doing this tattoo, but we'll be doing another one coming up at the tattoo convention. And I'm going to have my podcast there talking about that's the numbing cream.
It's numbing cream.
Is that really?
Yeah, dude.
No, it's lotion. Don't lie to me.
It's not lotion, it's numbing cream. How do you know?
We have my anesthesia. Where's the anesthesiologist? I'm supposed to be asleep by now. You can't see Honey, but Honey is here to watch me in pain. I wore my mask so you couldn't see me flinch. But
and I didn't wear mine so you can see me laugh when he flinches.
He was thinking about wearing like a Nacho Libre mask. That would have been tight, you know. Just saying.
All right, go ahead and stand up for me real quick.
All right,
just stand up right here. So,
and people
just kind of relax it like that. Perfect. So stand natural how you would usually stand.
Okay.
But stand this way. So, okay. All right, perfect.
And then want the eyes to be looking at me. So
so you want to flip this way?
No, the other way. The way it should be. Yep.
So it'd be like this.
So like we're like kind of like looking up at each other, if you would.
Just do it like that. Well, that's the smoke. It's that part.
Yeah, I guess we'll just go over a half inch.
Well, even if we go a half inch, we still got to shrink it down because that smoke will actually run into that.
Gotcha.
So yeah, even it'll catch the tail end of it. So you want to shrink it down a little bit, or do you just want to kind of bring the smoke behind this one? So basically, the smoke will be like right there, and it saves your tattoo.
Yeah, I mean you're the expert.
It's up to you, man. Go look in the mirror real quick and see if that works for you.
So this is what we got so far right here. Let me go check it out in the mirror real quick as we get this locked and loaded here. What's up, Saul? What's up, GI? All right. You know, actually, I'm glad you. Yeah.
That works for you?
Because when you look at me straight on, you see the logo pretty clear, like pretty flat, right? You can see the majority of it when I'm standing like this.
Yeah.
All right, then we're good.
Yeah, I'll just bring, like I said, I'll just go around this tattoo and bring up the smoke part.
Yeah.
So, you don't really have to cut it, and you get to keep this.
With 30 years experience, I'm not even worried a bit.
Good.
GI says bring it down a notch. You don't like, because it's like touching that right there.
Not necessarily. There's about a good line in there. That line doesn't touch it that little faint line. But if we do that, then you're gonna chance getting closer to that wrench, and you're not gonna have it lined up.
True.
Yeah, it won't be as lined up as you. It'll be off to the side a little more, and the face will kind of be like. Or we could just shrink the whole thing down. And
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Because this part will be more on the inside, so it won't be as clear as a picture of a picture.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but for the tattoo sake, for people to see it straight on when you're passing me or standing right by me, if we turn it in, you're going to start to lose, kind of like, I don't know, face value of it, I guess.
Yeah, I won't touch the other one.
Yeah, because this is the next one that I want to figure out how you're going to cover up.
Because technically, if you look at it, this line is way kind of over here, so there's actually a
Oh yeah,
line. But yeah, that'll work.
all right. Well, let's do this. We got 5 people watching so far. Meta Nugget, keep it there. I thought it was going to be on your face. Well, yeah, but Emilio suggested we don't do that. So he said the arm is a great place to put tattoos. Remember, guys, this is my first tattoo. Don't go to the other arm. I think that's badass, dude. And then what we're gonna do is light grays throughout the joint with highlights of white and have the full logo. And what color for the red are we doing?
A deeper red, darker red, not so bright or not so so neon color, I guess.
What's up, Mad Dog? All right, so I got you guys in the chat. We're gonna get this underway here. Just so everybody knows, I do not like skin tattoos. Oh shit, gotta keep that plugged in if I want to keep myself happy and live. Sure, that's plugged in here.
Really warm in here.
Why am I not seeing power here? That would not be good. I would not want to lose feed. All right. We're all plugged in. Everything looks good. We're all plugged in.
We good?
Yeah, my live froze here for a second. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I don't want to jinx it, but
Is it working now?
jinx it. Well, it's still recording. I guess we'll just go for it. That's why I have it also pre-recorded. So if anything bad happens, it's still recording. I guess we'll just go for it. That's why I have it also recorded. So if anything bad happens. Morning, CC. Let's get this party started. Oh man, we're going to the tight spot. Let's get this party started. Hold on. I'll turn on the feedback. Woo! So, what's everybody up to this wonderful morning? See, this is the first time we've done a podcast. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the podcast. So, here we go. What's going on, guys? It's Madman Plant. We are not in the studio or the podcast room. We are in a tattoo studio with Emilio, who's got the needle in my arm right now, putting on this wonderful, painful SmokeBusters logo. And I'm learning this one today. So Emilio has I'm so sorry.
Right.
Emiliano has a world of experience over 30 years and owns the beautiful Black Horse Tattoo here in Fredericksburg. And what's even more amazing is his story. So we got connected after my original tattoo artist canceled on me, and last minute, and Emilio is tagged by the Pink Sloth, and Emiliano. I'm sorry, dude.
I'm gonna get you every time on that one.
Do it, get it, give me, put it in deeper every time I get it wrong. Make me pay for it. No, I'm just kidding. Emiliano.
There you go.
Reached out after the Pink Sloth tagged him and said that he would love to work with me, and we started talking. So let's take you back to like the beginning. How did you originally get into tattooing, and what were some of the reasons?
Well, I grew up as an artist. My dad was an artist. He was more of a painter than he was anything else. So he did like fine art. So at an early age, taught me how to tattoo. Well, he didn't teach me how to tattoo. He taught me how to draw. And he would get tattooed. So I would go with him every time he would go. And I would just sit there in the shop and just check out all the flash and check out all the art and just see what was going on. And from an early age, about the time I was about 10, that this is pretty much what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. At an early age, I pursued it. I went after and got an apprenticeship and learned how to tattoo. Back when tattooing wasn't, what it was. It was a long time ago. It was, early 90s. But tattooing wasn't, all the cool stuff that's going on now.
So with drawing, is it therapy? How does all the art work for you in your mind?
So as far as art, there's different things that I do as far as an artist. I'm not just a tattoo artist. I am like, I do artwork. I do a lot of different paintings. I do, commission artwork. I'll get commissions to do like certain paintings for certain people, just depending on kind of, what they're looking for. So I kind of do that stuff a lot. It's just not necessarily like tattooing is my only like medium that I mess with, which is kind of cool. You don't want to limit yourself, especially like, if you're an artist. I did graffiti. I've done, painting everything from, skateboards to designing show posters for just different bands. I did one for Guns N' Roses. I got commissioned by the band to do, a show poster for them when they were playing Las Vegas. And that was a pretty cool time. But I grew up as an artist looking at everything as a visual.
As a visual person, how has that like helped you with your life as far as like your creativity? Do a lot of your stuff that you do outside of tattooing really fall into like your own kind of like passion projects? Like, how does that work?
Well, I'm pretty big like on like Japanese influence.
Okay.
So like Japanese tattoos and Japanese like mythology, dragons, and just different things like that. I'm really into. So I kind of like try to focus a lot on that stuff, but with almost like a West Coast feel to it. So I try to do like almost like for my culture, which is I'm Chicano, so I grew up as like a Mexican American kind of artist. You know what I mean? Like like lowrider type stuff. And,
Yeah. Oh yeah. You even have the accent and the whole vibe.
Yeah. So I grew up with lowriders and everything. In fact, I kind of grew up like I had a what's called the best of both worlds. Like being raised. Like my dad, he lived kind of like in southern Colorado, which was kind of like not really a ghetto, but it was kind of like that because there was such a high concentration of like Mexican Americans. It was like just a hot pot.
Yeah.
Everybody. And a lot of gangs. growing up. But I didn't fall into the gangs because first they didn't want me.
That's
I don't know why. Nobody ever tried to recruit me.
kind of funny. It's like, come on, guys, come on.
Yeah, well, come on, I want to be a gangster. But in reality, they knew that, they knew something that I didn't at that time. Because I did. I wanted to be like included. I wanted to be, you know, down for mine, as they say. But a lot of them were like, no, go stick to your skateboard, or go do some shit like that, which was cool because at the time I was an avid skateboarder, and that's kind of what I wanted to do growing up. Is I wanted to be a pro skateboarder.
Maybe inadvertently they were saving you for your bigger purpose,
And I believe that. I believe they did. And that's the thing is like, a lot of those guys, they're not around anymore. They either, got caught up, got shot up, or ended up going to, jail. I mean, it was sad because, I knew kids that were, 13, 14, and they were getting like literally lifetime bids in prison for doing stupid shit. And I'm pretty glad I didn't fall into that, Like my dad, he was good. He was good raising us. 'Cause I have a brother who's 4 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
So it was me, him, and my dad. So my brother though, he's good kid. I love him to death. He's my best friend, and he kind of went the gangster route. He went the other route. He went the route that I was kept away from.
And have that worked out for him.
Like I said, catches you. You get caught up in shit that you don't want to do. You have to do stuff for the neighborhood, stuff to show that you're
Down for the hood,
that
yeah.
you represent. And, but I mean, he also, he grew into being like a pretty good like musician, and
But the music kind of take him away.
Yeah, like he was really into punk rock, which I was always into punk rock, and I showed him like a lot of different stuff that way,
Yeah.
and it was cool. He's a good kid. I love him.
So, being like around like the gang life, like what is that like on a day-to-day basis when you're not like subjected to it like your brother was? Do you see much of it, or is
Oh
it
yeah, you see a lot of it, man. You see like
just from where you live?
just from being around. You see people getting beat up, shot, arrested. It was just an everyday occurrence. It wasn't like it was just an everyday occurrence. But like as I was saying, I had the best of both worlds because my grandmother lived up north of Colorado.
Okay.
She lived north in a town called Boulder, which is basically a college hippie town. Like really, like nowadays, it's crazy expensive to live in that town. Like nobody can live there. But at the time, there was a high concentration of Mexican Americans that lived there. But it was a college town, so it was really like well to do. And I had to, spend a lot of time with her. So I would kind of bring my Southern Colorado way to Boulder. So I was doing things that I shouldn't, as far as like selling kids acid and other kind of shit.
See you, Mad Dog. So you got into slinging too, then?
Yeah. Early on, I mean, that's
Is that for yourself, or is that part of like gang? Or
no, that was for myself because it was accessible. Like being in a college town, you're gonna meet a lot of kids that go to college.
Yeah.
So I was just a little kid, and I met like older people that were chemists that were making acid.
Yeah.
It's crazy because the town that I'm talking about, Boulder, it's a real big, like I said, hippie town. So Grateful Dead would play there like constant. They were always in Boulder playing, which was insane. So, me being like a young ass kid, I would go to Dead shows and walk around, selling acid.
Yeah, out of all my drugs that I've done, and I've never done like an intravenous. I tried cocaine one time and I thought it was stupid because I'm already ADHD.
Yeah, yeah.
So everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, I feel the same."
Yeah, that's the thing. Those kind of drugs, like I've always stayed away from that kind of shit, man. That's bad news. It's always been bad news.
But psychedelics in general, I've had a very good relationship with, and I've done a lot of self discovery on acid and mushrooms. And I used to go ride my bike in at the lake on tripping on acid. I taught a kid how to dive off a diving board, tripping one time. Like I always had a great time, but I just feel like with some things like that, if you use them correctly and you're in the right mindset, you can have a great experience. Now, I've seen people, like I'm sure you have, go to heaven and hell.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
From at raves, people literally being on their knees, literally in the moonlight, praying to God for somebody to save them.
Yeah, it's insane how like sometimes that happens, but yeah, for the most part, it was always like it was happy times. It wasn't like somebody wigging out and ended up somewhere they're not supposed to be. It was always like good times for people.
Oh yeah.
Plus, times were different back then, man. It wasn't so heavy as far as like you know everything that's going on in life.
I just feel like the world got more serious and it ruined all the
And
fun
I think that's what I was getting at is that it did. It got too serious,
too fast.
way too fast, too serious, and people need to be people. They need to be like to live.
Well, I think so too. And it's just like even if you look at the toys that the kids were given back in the day, the stuff that they approved, they would never approve today.
No, no. I mean, shit. Just riding in the back of a pickup truck, just in the bed with all your friends. And stuff.
Oh
It's illegal now. You can't do that.
no, you can't do that.
Yeah,
You get pulled over.
or even just like you know, me growing up, dude. I had a house key when I was 5 years old. I get off school and go home and make something to eat and wait for my dad to get off work kind of thing. So it was like my generation was more about like self sufficient, take care of yourself.
Oh yeah, we're
That's
getting to a
cool.
tender spot. I've been
Yeah.
doing pretty good,
You're doing
guys.
good, dude. You're
I
doing
haven't
so
been
good.
bitching or complaining.
He hasn't shit his pants. Nothing
Has
like
that
that.
happened in your chair?
I've had not in this chair, but I've had a girl shit her pants one time. It was
Oh,
pretty
we're getting
gross.
to tender areas. See, the back of the arm, you're so used to bumping it into shit, and that's a roughness. As soon as we get to that inner arm, so I'm gonna look away. Look at you all.
But I guess what I'm getting at is, we were talking about like, you know, motivation, being,
Yep,
wanting to
100%.
do something bigger than
Ourselves.
yeah, bigger than the picture. You know what I mean? As far as like, me growing up, I, I was lucky because my mom lived everywhere, so I'd always be able to go like travel and see her wherever she lived. Being like whether it be like Vegas or California or wherever, or even Europe. It was really well traveled as a kid, so I got to see a lot of things. Got to experience a lot with that traveling part.
I think that also happens. One thing is haven't started to travel until I was an adult, and I really wish I got to see the world as a child. I feel like when we talk about bigger and more than ourselves, you need to see the world as bigger. When you live
Hmm.
in your hometown and you just service your own area for so long, I think this is a problem I'm running into networking groups is everybody's just so set in their ways and they get to this plateau and I just until I die, I want more. I'm just not satisfied,
No, no, I feel you 100%. Like you know, just growing up in general, like being in southern Colorado, the gangster part of Colorado, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
Going to school, I would have teachers that would dude that would bitch me out, tell me out, you're never gonna be nothing, you're not gonna be anything. I had one teacher that used to call me a taco bender. He was like, all you gotta do is
shit.
bend taco. And the fucked up thing was the dude was Chicano himself, so he would be like just calling me down, like, you're gonna be nothing but a taco bender, you're gonna be this and that. And it's funny because when I finally made it, I started sending his ass fucking tacos all the time. Like I'd have somebody deliver him a bag of fucking tacos from Taco Bell. And from your favorite taco vendor. I mean, it was bad, dude. Like he never had enthusiasm, and I think that's kind of what I'm coming at. It's like there was never anybody that was like, "Oh, dude, you can do it. You can make it. You can be anybody you want to be." I mean, I had parents and I had stuff like that. Those were the only people that were pushing me. But as far as like teachers and everything else, they were, they were the biggest fucking haters ever. Nobody ever wanted to see anybody come up.
Mm-mm.
Nobody ever wanted to, like, if you don't go to college or you don't do this or you don't do that, you're not going to be anything. Me myself, man, I went to ninth grade. That's pretty much where my schooling stopped. And it's not because I didn't, want to go to school. It's just because, I didn't have anything there. There was nothing pushing me to want to be there.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's like, you don't have anybody pushing you. What's the point?
Well, and also, if you don't have anybody that sees the potential with you and what you're capable of, and that's what I've been talking a lot in my own circles about, is if you're in a room where people don't see you as valuable and people don't get you, you're in the wrong environment. But as a kid, you're subjected to these environments because you have no control. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if the teacher is an asshole to you, there's not much you can do growing up. But as an adult, I think that's why it's so important about self-discovery and the idea that if not now, then, and kind of reclaiming that, because to be in a room where people call you a taco bender when you're like, look at what you own. I mean, you come in this tattoo shop, you saw the picture I posted on Instagram. It's very high end, it's very nice. Plus, you have a huge backstory of success. So, for people to be like that, it's almost insulting because who are you to judge? And just because you couldn't do it yourself doesn't mean the rest of the world can't do it and won't be able to figure it out.
And that's kind of what I get at. That's when I talk to people, I tell them, I'm like, I come from nothing, literally. And, I've taken on, just in the last 20 years, dude, I've ran 2 multi-million-dollar tattoo shops.
Yeah.
That have shops all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
And I can honestly say, I've done that. I've done everything that I ever set my mind to.
Yeah.
Because one thing is, like, I believe in PMA, which is positive mental attitude.
Yes.
You always have to have some, think the best. Think that, what, this isn't it. I mean, Black Horse, this isn't my last. This isn't like the end of me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still growing too. I have goals. I have a lot of goals. And, I just, every time you reach one, you just mark it up to, what's next. And that's what people should do. Don't just set your sights on one thing. Set your sights on everything. And I've been very fortunate in my career and in my life to do a lot. And my main thing now is, like, I have a real solid team here of fucking handpicked artists that have been here since the beginning. We have maybe a couple here and there, but for the most part, all of my people they've been here, and that's what I want. I want to be able to bring people up. I want people to
Yes.
I want people to experience everything. Everything that I've done, I want them to have. And I tell them, this right now is just a stop in your journey. There's gonna be more. There's gonna be more journey. There's gonna be, like, things you're gonna do on your own. That's my whole thing with people. It's like, I want I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to just be who they want to be.
Well, and that's the thing is we should be able to who we want to be, but that's why breaking down stigmas, as weird as they are, and genres and people, the level of understanding helps it make it okay. And I think a lot of times we as individuals don't know that it's okay to be us right away. Becoming your true self. Like when I dyed my hair red, at first, I when I first dyed my hair red, I was like, I don't know if I can leave the house like this. And then I was like,
But what was your reasoning? Why didn't you want to leave the
well,
house
at
like that?
first I guess it was like a culture shock. I was like, oh my god, I have red hair. Like this is gonna stand out. And then
But were you worried what people were gonna say? What people were gonna be like, judge you? Like, hey, what's this? Like this kid got, crazy hair.
people can be all types. You never know,
But you
but
know what I've learned in life, man? I've learned that people like that, the only reason they talk shit is because they're jealous. They want that life.
that's
They want to be
true.
like, they're like, fuck, man, I wish I could fucking have hair like that. I wish I could do that. I wish I could fucking
Be free,
Yeah. But no, they're living for everyone else. They're not living for themselves. So I tell people, you know what? Dress how you want to dress. Be who you want to be. Fucking, you know, be comfortable with what you want to be comfortable with. Don't worry about what everybody else has to say because it's not going to do you any good. Those people don't pay your bills. Those people don't live for you. You live for yourself.
For some reason, that's a tender spot.
Yeah, you're doing good though.
I know. I'm a champ. I decided I wasn't going to cry in the chair today, not in front of my audience.
Yeah. But I mean, for the most part, man, life's too short
And
to just be like, oh, dude, I'm gonna conform to everything that I'm told that I have to conform to.
people in the chat are saying congratulations to you for rising above and providing. Oh, I think my little icons here. Congratulations to you for rising above and providing. You can make something of yourself or without tacos.
Yeah, I mean, I love tacos though. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love tacos. But it was disheartening, when you have somebody in it that's authority and they're telling you you're not gonna do shit.
CC, you're awesome.
It hurts, You're like, wow. And how many people did he tell that to that actually believed him and fucking gave up and was like, damn, that's all I'm gonna have to be.
Well,
That's
and
bullshit.
well, it kind of brings me back to the story of um, the um, the fastest mile run in the United States. Back in the 50s, there was a guy who broke the fastest man land speed record, right?
And that's running
Like running a mile, like how fast you can run a mile, right?
All right, yeah.
And back in that time, nobody but this one person had beat this record. After this one person beating this record, over like 44 million people, including children and high schoolers, have also achieved the same record that he did in the 1950s or whatever. These are like loose facts to the story. But the point is, what happened? How come nobody could do it before this guy? It's because one guy came around and showed people it was possible. And then that planted the seed. And then somebody else said that's possible. And then they did it. And the same thing with entrepreneurship and just believing in yourself is it's like the power of one more, which is a great book you should check out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the idea that when you feel low and you feel like you can't do something towards whatever you're working towards. And that satisfaction of completing a goal, a task, whatever, is going to take you to that next level where you do the next something next great.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes a pyramid that you're climbing inadvertently. And now all of a sudden you're at the top. And you didn't even know it because you were just focused on being you and doing you. And little by little, everything else at the same time was being built along the way.
Yeah, good. That's really good. Yeah, you should always think that way, man. But it also goes back to a lot of people don't think positive, like don't believe, and it sucks because you know everybody, like we were talking earlier about social media, you know I think, our kids and everything are living on likes, living on likes, whether it's social media likes or anything else. But that's what they want in life. And it sucks because it's like half of those people that are liking your shit, do you really know them in person?
Okay, that hurts. Not gonna lie, that does not feel good. But no, and that's the thing. If you look at people in other countries and you ask the kids where they want to be, they want to be scientists and engineers and all these problem solvers. And if you look at people in America, they want to be YouTube famous.
Yeah, they all want to be fucking, YouTube famous, which is good. I mean, that gives you a goal, and that's something that you should work for. But at the same time, is it really, realistic? Is it realistic to want to be, YouTube famous? I mean, I would love to be YouTube famous.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is what I try to explain to people. If you want to be famous, go out there and do something great. If you're self-serving in the fact that all your content just benefits you and it's just you living some elaborate dream, that's not the point. The point is, if you want to have a huge YouTube channel, create a mission, use the YouTube channel as a medium, and then go create this mission, and now you have 1 million followers, and now you've done something amazing for the world.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people, like with me, like I don't like when I have lives. Sometimes I'll have 50 people in a live. Sometimes I'll have 20. I'm not one of these people that has a huge following, but the work that I do, the impact that I make, is way more than those who that do. Last night I had the 11th person in 2 years cry on my podcast and break down emotionally about their story and what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there raising money for them in their shop.
But that's just it, though, man. Like you were, you're doing it for you and everybody else. You're doing it on that level, and that's a good thing. Like you said, you have 11 people, you have 12 people. Eventually, you'll have 30 people. Eventually, you have 50 people. It just grows, and that's the thing with like say in my business, me, I didn't grow overnight. I didn't do everything that I've done overnight, man. It's taken like years. It's taken a lot of years. It's taken a lot of time to get to where I'm at. A lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of struggle, a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like we were talking earlier about like, missing out on kids' lives. I have 2 kids and I've missed out on one of their lives because I was always traveling, I was always working, I was always putting everything else in front, thinking that I'm here, providing for them. I'm here doing all this for them, but in reality, they didn't want that. They don't they don't want the cool toys. They don't want any of that shit. They want time with their dad, and I miss that. So now with my son, I'm getting to learn. I'm getting to learn a lot about life, especially through his eyes.
Yeah. Now that we're on that subject, Emiliano's son has severe autism. My son has high functioning autism. Your son was nonverbal for a long time. What is that like with a child? And talk about what's your son's name?
His name is EJ.
EJ.
Which is Emiliano Jr.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty easy, man.
Easy,
pretty
great.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, it's like, what am I going to name him? My name.
Yeah, sure, it's easy.
So talk about EJ's life and some of the challenges that you face as a parent.
So we kind of noticed that EJ was a little different back in, when he was born. He wasn't like, typical. There was things that we noticed that he was getting overstimulated a lot. Like we'd go to a grocery store and, go anywhere, in Vegas, especially. There's fucking bright lights and ringing bells everywhere you go, even at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
So we noticed he'd be like freaked out and like anytime we'd go anywhere. And finally we're like, we need to probably take him in and see what's going on. Take him to a doctor. And we took him to the doctor, and the doctor right off the bat, he was like, your son has autism.
Mm. Have you ever dealt with autism before?
I
or
haven't.
anything
I
like
didn't know anything about it, man. I didn't know nothing about it. I was the parent that was. I'm not gonna say that I was like, oh, what? I was the parent that was like, oh no, he'll be okay. He'll change. He'll go to be normal. Like, looking through every avenue of he's gonna be normal.
Yeah.
Not knowing that, what is normal.
Well, that's a great question, and that's something I've tried being my whole life, and then now I don't want to be normal.
Yeah, I understand, and that was the thing. It was like, what can we do? So after the diagnosis, it was like, what do we do? What do we do?
Yeah.
How do we help them? What do we do? What programs do we get them into? What do we do to help them? Was the biggest concern. So we got him into different programs. We started helping him, and then we realized he's still got like things going on. He's uncontrollable. He can't express himself, so he's getting really irritated and different things like that. And as a parent, we're trying to figure out ways to like how can I help? How can I do? What can I do? So we started, like I said, being from Colorado, there was different people at that time that were not experimenting, but formulating, CBD.
Yeah.
And at the time, CBD was like, what is CBD? I didn't know what CBD was. All I knew is that, it's from, cannabis. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to give my kids cannabis. I can't do that. And I was told, the properties and everything about it. And at first I was kind of like skeptical. I was like, I want to try anything I can that's going to, help him. Going to help him just be able to enjoy something, to be, just to help him. And I was desperate. I was really desperate. And luckily, we tried it, and it, we put him on a little routine of when he has to take it and everything else, and then we started seeing like progression. We started seeing a lot of progression, like in his attitude, in his, paying attention, and one day, he just starts singing.
That's awesome.
And it was like, what the fuck, holy shit.
What type of music does he sing? Is he like hyper focused in any type of genre?
Like, dude, he loves Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters
are that's awesome. Dave Grohl and
everybody. Is the shit.
Have you ever been to see the Foo Fighters live?
No, man. I would love to take him if I could. If I could take him somewhere like that, that would probably be the first thing. But yeah, man, he loves Foo Fighters. He loves the Eagles. Loves the Backyardigans. It's funny. It's funny. He's a good kid. He's a really good kid, So over the last, he's 14 now, and over the last like 6, 7 years, longer than that, probably 7 years, 8 years, he's been on the CBD regimen, and now, man, it's crazy because it's night and day. This kid will, he talks, he sings. I mean, it's more of stimming and scripting. Scripting being like, just talking like, doing dialogue of movies, dialogue of cartoons, dialogue of anything. It's almost like him making up his own stuff, but it's him. It's him talking. It's him, being him. So I'm very, I'm very passionate about CBD, and the thing is, like, you want to get that word out to other families and and telling them, there's benefits from it, but a lot of people are still anti because, they think it's, it's marijuana, this, that. It's going to make my kid high. It really isn't. So, I will give information as far as like, what works, what you can try and stuff like that. I had a I had a parent reach out to me this week, and he was really like at his ends with his son because his son has autism, but he was more, being aggressive and being like, just being aggressive, and that's a big part of like autism is like these kids aren't able to express themselves.
Yep. Yeah.
So
And it builds up.
so it does build up, and you have to let it out somehow. But one thing is, my son is, I get to live again in his eyes, and I get to spend as much time as I want with him, and just be a dad, and help him through life, and just teach him. And I mean, I know that he's not going to be a typical kid, but he's him.
Now with EJ, does he know that he has like Logan? Logan knows that he has autism. We've talked to him about it. He knows what autism is.
He knows that he says that he has, he does. He knows but I couldn't fully grasp what autism is. I mean, I love watching this kid because he has no worries. He just plays.
They're resilient.
Dude, I go to the store, like I'll take him to like Giant or something. We have like routines that we do all the time. Like I'll take him to a store, he can walk around. But I mean, this kid he's so lovable. He says hi to everybody and he dances.
That's awesome.
He wears his earphones and he just like dances around, and it's like almost like watching ballet in a way. He just kind of like just dances, and you'll get the stares from people like, what the fuck is this kid's problem kind of thing. But you know what? I'm not that parent. I'm not gonna be like, I don't need to fight everybody. I don't need to be like that guy, like, what are you looking at or whatever, It comes from acceptance, If you're gonna sit there and talk shit, whatever, but just accept it, and that's life.
Now with GI in the chat, he's a good friend of mine. His kids are high, or his kid is high functioning autistic like Logan,
Okay.
but he was misdiagnosed for years. Did you deal with a misdiagnosis with EJ?
No, it wasn't a misdiagnosis at all.
So it was exactly right away.
Spot on, yeah. It was
early in life or what age?
It was 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 3 because, like I said, from the beginning we just couldn't go nowhere. We couldn't take it anywhere. It was like it was always impossible just to kind of like go to a grocery store, and it was scary. It was really scary because the first thing you think of is like, man, life. What do I do? How is he gonna live? How is he gonna whatever? And that's my biggest thing now in life. Is like everything I do, I'm doing for him. As far as like I work, I do everything because I want to set something up for him. I want to set a future up for him because that's my biggest concern. He's 14 and I'm 51. Well, what's gonna happen if something happens to me? And that's my biggest worry in life. Is like,
oh, painful spot. I was doing real good, and I was like, damn, this actually feels really good. And then I was like, nope, we're gonna get to the upper arm and then the inner arm. Oh. But and that's the constant thing with me with Logan too, is what happens after you're gone or something did happen or whatever, and my family definitely isn't as involved as I would like them to be. They are for my sister's kid, but see, mine was out a one night stand, so in their eyes that's a sin and they can't look past it, which is kind of weird. But
they should bypass all the bullshit and realize, what,
they don't.
That kid is more important than fucking how he was made or
Well, that's the thing is you be mad at people, but the people that had the kid are together running the business. Lacey's my, honestly, the better half of me, the more calculated, precise. I'm more of your fire all your guns at once and explode into space type guy. But no, we've built a total life, and that's what I hate about stigmas and situations like that. And that's my like I share that worry with you is, well, what if something did happen? Then there goes everything,
Yeah, man.
and that's a scary thought, especially as a business owner, because sometimes the business dies with you.
Yeah, and that's kind of the scary thing, you know. Like I don't, I don't, I don't know, man. I don't know what the future holds, but
Thanks, Chronomics.
I know that like you know the reason why I came out to Virginia was was for him. I mean, yeah, Vegas was cool. Vegas was whatever, you know. But I needed someplace that was going to be good for him, be good for him to grow, to be in, you know, programs that with people that care. Because I mean, there's programs out there, but they're limited. They're not what they should be, and that's the sad thing. It's like these teachers that that take care of our kids. Like my son, he's in special ed, so his teachers are amazing. They're amazing people. They take time out. They teach them things that life skills that he's
Yeah,
gonna need, and
yeah.
they it sucks because they don't get paid enough, and it goes back to like the whole thing with retail cannabis sales. That's kind of why I wanted to jump into that was because not only to provide a future for my son, but to go ahead and help out taxes. Tax wise, shit, dude, they could have made enough money to fix these roads, pay teachers what they're fucking worth, and but no.
But yeah, well, and that's why it's kind of funny. They want to pay teachers as little as possible, but they're literally in charge of the future
Yeah, but
in a way.
they don't look at it that way. People are, these politicians look at that money as being like their money. They're not going to give up fucking no money. It's
I
just
disagree
it's
with all that.
it's extra money in their pocket.
Oh, yes. Tender spot warning. It's funny. The tattoos don't hurt nearly as bad as I remember them doing. Maybe I'm just doing it in a good area. I would dare to say that against the ribs.
No, I don't. What's funny? I have everything tattooed except ribs.
Really, just
Yeah.
for that reason.
I'm ticklish. Plus, I
I've
don't.
heard it makes people like nauseous, like sick, because of the vibration and everything.
I tattoo a lot of first timers in their ribs, and it's funny too because like the first question I always ask somebody is like, "Hey, where are you getting it at?" And it's always like the little skinny white chick that's always like, "I want to get my ribs done." It's like, what the fuck?
Do you do you have any like the big like macho manly dudes like
Dude, they're the
come in
worst.
here
They're
and
the
then they like
fucking
break down and cry and shit?
not break down and cry, but I've had like macho man fucking.
All right,
Like,
this is a sensitive area,
so if he shits his pants, then you know that.
it's too late. But you said, what about the macho guys?
Yeah, they're the pussies. They're the ones that fucking always complain the most. Like, oh, making noises, kicking the chairs, being little bitches. But it also, women are a lot stronger than men for sure.
I believe that
Fucking,
100%.
they're tougher. They're definitely a lot stronger.
That's why they say hell has no fury like a woman scorned.
Yeah, is that what they say?
Yeah. So you think, oh, but I have to look at it. So going on through EJ's life, where is he now? How you say he's 14?
Now he's 14. He's getting ready to go into high school.
Very cool. And now is that still going to be special ed all the way through?
Yeah,
or?
man, it's special ed all the way through.
Okay, very cool. But he'll still receive his diploma and everything.
Yeah,
and,
he'll still do all that stuff, which is amazing because fucking I'm sure he'll love that. But it's also like I want to set him up with something for after. I want him to be like, his whole thing too.
All right. Oh,
Is he loves records, vinyl records,
yeah.
and he's always like, he builds a lot of stuff out of paper. Like he'll build a whole like bank drive-through in our garage with fucking copy paper.
That's cool.
And so his whole thing is he wants a record store when he grows up. And he talks about it all the time. He's like,
Then you have to pursue that with him.
yeah,
That
dude,
would
I'm
be
fucking
huge.
that's my thing. It's like that's what I want to work for. I want him to have that record store. I want him to, you know, be
Hey,
his own person, man.
when you get the record store from my company as a gift to EJ, we'll shoot the entire marketing video that you put on the website
That's
for the
awesome.
store for free.
I'll definitely take you up on that.
Oh, dude, I would love to work with him.
But that, and I want to do things for other children also that
Yep.
that have autism.
I used to work with Eddie's Club. So, see, my parents, when I was young, I had really bad ADHD. As I've gotten older, it's gotten a lot better. But when I was younger, they actually put me with special needs instead of just having me work through it. So my good portion of my life growing up, I spent all around autistic kids. Well, later in life, I started working with autism.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I used to work for Eddie's Club. I used to coach the Challengers baseball team for the Cubs. We used to go to Virginia Beach each year and have a huge ceremony and everything. And
Oh, that's cool.
there's just so much life within these kids. And I think in a way, the autism just helps them keep the innocence. Like if you meet somebody like I'm sure like EJ and over at Affordable Off Road or I don't know if he's been Affordable Automotive, one of my clients, Brad, his service writer James, his son is LJ, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And his other son is Jace. Jace doesn't have autism nearly as bad as LJ. LJ is probably like your son. Very kind of you can just tell, very in his zone of autism and just so alive inside. Like maybe into the outside world, maybe they don't get it, but those minds are going millions of miles a minute in so many different parallels.
Yeah, their mind
compared to what we're experiencing.
Totally. And I agree with you on that. I always like stare at them all the time and wonder, what are you thinking about, man? What's going through your mind right now?
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Well, I always ask Logan that, and he says nothing, and I'm like, "What do you mean nothing? Like you're not thinking about anything?" And he'll be sitting in the bathtub, and he'll be like, "No."
That's awesome. So, what does Logan eat? Does he have a specific like food that he eats?
Logan's a very sorry.
Oh,
tell me where you need me to go.
Like that.
Logan's a very picky eater. Oh goodness, back elbow. And we are in food therapy. We're in speech therapy. He has group therapy. So each week he has like 5 appointments, and he's been doing this for years. But everything with him has to be planned. There is no like surprise with him. Like if you want to wash his hair, it needs to be in advance. No, none about this. We're talking about it. You're gonna wash your hair on Wednesday. It's not a big deal. We'll get through it together. But other than that, his obsession is gaming. He loves gaming. We'll spend all day. We'll watch people game. He knows he's really good at it. Like I mean, he beats. When we used to play Call of Duty together, he would literally play against people, and people would assume that he's an adult with a voice changer.
Oh shit!
Like that good. Like at 3 years old, like he was doing full keyboard.
That's awesome.
Doing Call of Duty, running and gunning, saving my ass, saving other people's asses. I'm like, Logan, quick, get the Juggernaut suit. And I'm like, I'm going to get it.
Awesome. Do you need a break or anything?
Well, I want to smoke a joint.
Okay, you can. Let me put something on you, and you can take a quick turn, and I'm gonna see what's going on with our AC because it's hot as motherfucker.
Hey everybody, what's going on, my dudes? I'm gonna be jumping into Discord real quick. I'm gonna keep the live running because my Surface Pro froze, but thank God it did not cut the live. I'm really glad that you guys are here. Emiliano has a great story, and we're going to get into more of the details as soon as I get back. I just want to smoke a joint real quick, and then we will be good to go. So don't go anywhere, but I will jump in Discord, which I'll put the link here. It'll be Dead by Dawn's. Actually, you know what? We'll go to the bunker because GI is already in. Macho 804, Grow and Grind. High Desert, Dab Marino levels, CC 420, Crimson Phoenix, Florida Demand Jag. What's going on, my dudes? Okay, so what do I do with this? Do I need tape? All right. Yeah, SmokeBusters in the house, my dog. Told you guys I wasn't playing. This tattoo was gonna get done. All right. Join me in Discord. I just posted the link for a quick smoke sesh. Yellow. Oh, just hanging out. Yeah, boys. Come on. Look, there's honey. Follow. Oh, you know what? Oh. Can't take it off in there because then it ruins my whole physique.
They'll know who you are.
I know. It's scary. Well, if you follow my other pages, you can easily see who I am. Is this okay just floating like this?
Yeah, you're cool.
Okay. Come on. All right.
How's it feel?
Oh, well, you know what? It doesn't feel nearly as bad as I remember tattoos feeling. It actually feels pretty, like, that doesn't feel great to get a needle in my arm, but it doesn't feel bad. Follow. Come on. Slow. What's that?
So that dude likes Japanese stuff. Doing Japanese stuff. I might have to trip up there one day.
Dude, you should. I mean, look where the shop is located. It's right at the mall here in Fredericksburg. Like, to have a shop here, you're probably spending anywhere from like maybe $4,000 to $5,000 to $7,000 a month in rent, if not more. Look at this shit.
It's five.
It's in the village, and then the mall is right there. That's the mall.
You get lots of business walking by and shit.
Well, dude, he just tattooed Chris Angel on Chris Angel's newest tattoo. He did his work. Yeah, dude. We're about to talk about all the celebrities he's worked with. He was on Ink Masters on the very first episode. His tattoo shop was one of the first ever tattoo TV shows.
Like, I love that. Got out here in Arizona that won like 3 times.
Yeah.
On the first one you said?
Hmm?
Yeah, get the info for me. I would love to check it out.
Oh, dude, I would definitely.
Because me and Melissa love that show.
But yeah, dude, everybody thought I was bullshitting.
Dude, there it is.
I don't fucking play, dude. So Gronomics, to show your loyalty, I'm gonna have to get you. We're gonna have to bring you here in October to get you the same tattoo. We need to know where you stand when the revolution comes, so it's easy to identify you if you're marked. Yes, pledge now. Well, what's really cool about Emiliano is he's on his day off. He's booked out for 4 months, but he's like, listen, I have Wednesday off. He's like, I don't mind doing it on my day off.
That's that says a lot about him.
He likes the podcast and he believes in what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
And I love that he did the thick lines. He didn't do skinny lines.
You need people like that. All day.
Good girl. Hold on for a second. Oh, Bruce, look. It's honey. Come on. I love those eyes.
You always look sad, like he's sad or something.
Let's roll.
What's up?
Come on. Go place. What's that?
Just gonna ask about the what happened with the air conditioners. Do you show up? 10:30 or 11. It's already like I'm almost done with the tattoo.
Sit all the way down.
Sweating through the whole interview.
All right. See you guys back in a little bit.
There's what? What?
Hello, hello.
Look at I got the what? Hear me? Hear me now. Movie.
Oh, remember everything you say.
Yeah, I know. I was like smoothie. She was asking, seeing that she had a smoothie for me. Hell yeah, smoothie. All right. Let's get her going. Color time. Sorry about the heat, man.
Don't even apologize, dude. I wanted to, shout you out real quick, mainly because, when I reached out, we talked on Saturday, and you told me that you were booked out for like 4 months, and you were like, out of the kindness of your heart, you were just like, hey, dude, I'm off on Wednesday. I don't mind coming in and doing this for you real quick.
Yeah, man.
And that really, I feel like that really just shows a lot about your character and the person that you are, and the value that you think that this brings. And then not only that, but being on our podcast and, talking about it, because I've been looking for a tattoo podcast where the person interviewing is actually the one getting the tattoo, and I hadn't seen that yet. And I was like, maybe it's out there. You'd probably know because you were on TV, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I was like, how cool would it be if I got the logo of the SmokeBusters podcast while interviewing the actual tattoo artist who's tattooing me? So, I just thought it was unique.
No, it worked out, man. Like I said, the reason why I did it is because obviously Pink Sloth, they're good people, and you know, we all just kind of help each other out. Man. Like we support like all of the stuff that they put on. Like we'll be tattooing at their Strange Fest.
Well, if you want, you're more than welcome to come down and tattoo at my smoking barbecue smokeout October 12th.
Why would I want to tattoo when I could be eating?
Well, the
barbecue
food's
and
free.
chilling, dude?
I'll bring
Shit.
plates to your thing.
Okay, shit, we can work something out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we have vendors all set up and stuff. And then, even if you don't tattoo, if you wanted to set somebody up down there too and enjoy the event. And also, if you want to compete, we're looking for competitors.
To compete in barbecue?
Yeah.
I don't cook, dude. I don't do nothing.
You don't do
I
nothing.
tattoo, bro. That's my job.
We got to get you some
Just
hobbies.
kidding, dude. I do have a hobby.
The tattooing?
Yeah, tattooing.
Like, damn it, I thought you were saying something different, but it's just tattooing.
Yeah, just tattooing. I'm pretty lame, dude, when it comes down to it.
Well, it's funny. I live in the same arena. If I'm not doing Madman Plant or Good Luck Steph, I really don't have a life either.
I watch a lot of wrestling. That's kind of like what I do.
A lot of wrestling.
Wrestling?
Yeah, you like to
I
wrestle.
like watching it. I don't like to wrestle. Hulk Hogan, that kind of shit.
Hulk Hogan back in the day.
Yeah, back when he was cool, not like Hulk Hogan now, all fucking juiced out, wanting to fucking be not Hulk Hogan.
Hey, brother.
Hey, brother.
Although he did earn a lot of respect recently when his son got arrested for DUI and he didn't try to pull the celebrity, try to get him out.
Did you see the video of him getting out of when they were arresting his son that time? Hulk Hogan did show up and like got out with a cane, walked over to his son, and fucking he knew that his shit was fucked up because his son killed somebody already, drunk driver.
Yeah.
And that's the bad thing about it.
Yeah,
It's
the
like, dude,
Supra accident. Yep.
it's like, dude, you killed somebody driving, homie. You should not be driving. I mean, everybody should get a second chance, but when you cross that line,
All right. I kind of tend to agree with you. It's just like they wouldn't let a serial killer back on the street. So why would they let?
oh, hold up. Let's talk about OJ. OJ was pretty wild.
Okay, what I mean by serial killer is like that's like a special case. Like,
Yeah,
there's
I know.
outliers,
Yeah.
but like the Colorado murderer that
dude,
killed those girls and shit. You know what
that
I mean?
shit's horrible. Like that kind of stuff, man. That's mental. That's more fucking just mental illness. And it's sad because you're taking people's lives for what? Like you being mad about something or you being sad about something.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem that I have. When I was in school, I used to be in criminal justice, and I was going to be a police officer, but then I started my own business, and then that really took off, and I was like, well, I don't need a job now because I have one, and but I used to do a lot of criminal justice, and my goal, which kind of still is to try to understand the mindset of when people make rash decisions like that and how the mind is actually justifying it. Because you're like, okay, to go out there and actively kill somebody, that's pretty extreme. But, a crime of passion, it's like the only way to get rid of the situation is to end her life. Like, I just never understood some of like the Chris Watts and all the other stuff. It's like it was just so like premature and fast, not even calculated, and you knew you were gonna get caught. You know what I mean? Like
That's just it, though. People that do that shit, it's like, why hurt somebody else? What good is that going to do? They're going to go to prison. I mean, I've never been to prison, nor would I want to go to prison, but I don't think it's a cool place, man. I don't think it's a good place. When you realize, oh shit, I'm in fucking prison. What am I gonna do? Nothing. You're gonna be stuck there for the rest of your fucking life.
well, and that's the thing. If you listen to like Tupac, for example, Tupac talks a lot about how prison is a miserable place and that it is not a place that's to be glamorized, and that's the thing. I think too is, you have all these different mindsets, especially like, in your situation growing up in the ghetto where prison's part of life, man. You're either in a prison or, you're out of prison or somebody that's going to prison, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
the closest I've ever come to anything was I had to do weekends in jail when I was a kid. When I was underage, they sent my ass to a fucking grown ass man fucking jail, and I used to have to report that every fucking Friday and get off on Sunday night. And dude, I learned my fucking lesson. I never fucking want to do that again.
same.
Even though the whole time I was in there, it was mostly just drawing shit for neighborhood guys because that's what I did. I would draw shit for people all the time.
Good way to make commissary.
Yeah, well, I didn't really even need it, but I was just doing weekends.
Oh, yeah,
So
the
it was like,
weekend.
so it was, people would be like, "Hey man, draw me something so I can send to my mom or my old lady or whatever." And it kept me busy. I didn't really have to mess with nobody, and nobody messed with me. So I was happy. Well, I wasn't happy being in there, but I was happy. But like I said, man, I learned my lesson. I never want to catch the tail end of any kind of lost shit ever.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, and it's one of those things too. Depending on who you are and your circumstances, it can become a never-ending cycle, and that's the whole becoming institutionalized, and I don't think that's good for people either. Plus, talking about mental health, I think that's where a lot of what we're seeing is people don't know how to handle these people, so where they end up in jail.
The thing too with mental health, like we're definitely like a little different in age. Like
Well, but 20
growing
years or
up,
so.
mental health for a man was frowned upon. It was looked at being weak.
Yep.
Especially like in my culture, being a Hispanic male, like you you couldn't show any kind of like emotion.
Well, that'd
And
get you killed where you lived.
yeah. Well, just in general, man. Like your dads or your parents would always be like, why you acting like a little pussy? Don't fucking. You'd have to. You couldn't be fucking. You couldn't show any emotion, and that was a fucking sad thing, And I'm glad, like nowadays, emotion and I think that's my biggest problem too in life is that I've been programmed to not show it or have any kind of emotion. Like I'm good at like giving you a stone face, dude, like it's whatever. But inside I cry. I'm normal.
Well, I
So
think
I'm learning a lot about that. I'm learning a lot about myself.
what you have to realize, and this is something that I think is programmed in us incorrectly, is you're taught to do everything by yourself. But in business and in life and partnership, it really does take a village of people with different skill sets, different backgrounds to really, make things effective and really run smooth. And I think so too is you forget, at least I do, in your mind that other people are going through the same thing you are. You know what I mean? And you isolate yourself in your situations and you feel like a burden or you feel like people are going to think weird of me because my son's out of control and I don't know how to control him, and I don't want to be perceived as a bad parent, for example.
But that's just it. Like say back in the day, like before we, kind of found out that my son had autism, going to a store and having a lady or somebody be like, can't you control your fucking kid? Giving you shit like that.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up. That's not appropriate.
That's shit that we've dealt with, that I've dealt with in my time. And it's like, your first fucking thing is, knock that fucking person out. We're talking shit. But
Well, they're a
business.
Time, they should not ever speak to their customer like that.
Well, it's not even that. It's like just standing in line at the grocery store. It's kind of what I'm talking about. And your kids like, crying or making noise. And that's the thing too. Is like my kid he makes noise. He like he laughs, and when he laughs, he makes like a noise.
Yep.
And you know what? If you get people that fucking give you like a look like, what the fuck is wrong with that kid? And as much as you being a parent, you want to be like, you know what, mind your own business kind of thing. It's like me myself, I've learned to just look past that bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was getting at. It's like, I've learned to be like, if you can't accept this, you don't know what's going on anyway. I'm not gonna fucking sit here and explain shit to you. Pointless. And you know what? I don't have to. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to explain my kids' actions. I would if I was gonna educate you, but at the same time, people don't want to be educated on that shit. There's still a lot of hate out there, man. There's still a lot of hate for people that are different.
I think that's because people are scared to be different. I think this whole normalization and this whole world normal where this is what you're supposed to do. And like I listen to a lot like a Jim Rohn, for example. I listen to his voice a lot. He talks about the loss and the submission of mediocrity and settling and succumbing to what your environment subjects you to it. And it's like another motivational person said, it takes courage to be different. It takes courage to stand up. It takes courage to go the different direction. It is like, but in people in life, what they do is they allow people to neutralize their courage and they fit you into this small box that fits into their reality that they can now stand you. And when you do that, you've neutralized yourself to a point so much that you're not even you anymore. You don't need courage because now you are one of them, and now you have become what they've told you to be. And I think that in a way is
you're conforming to them. You're conforming to what they want you to be, and not allowing you to be anything other than what they say you can be.
Yeah.
And it's what does that tell? What's that tell our future? What's that tell our kids?
Well, I think what it does is it steals their self-esteem. I think it steals their ambitious, ideas, and it's like, oh, well, maybe I can't do this, so maybe that's foolish.
But I mean, that's just it. Like, if there was more people that, I think being believed is also a thing too. It's like if kids don't believe you or believe in you, as far as like they think, oh, he's just a, who is he? He's nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody like, I'm not saying me, for instance, like, okay, you're a tattoo artist. You've tattooed all over the world. You've tattooed numerous people. You've done a lot of things in tattooing. If they see somebody and hear something like that come from me, then it's a reality because they're like, oh shit, he really did it, and he's here in real life saying that. But as opposed to like Joe Blow that's never been out of his neighborhood saying, oh, kids, you can be fucking, you could be president if you want.
You can live in the White House.
Yeah,
you remember that kid?
Yeah, you
can get a better job. You can make more money.
Yeah, you'll never be in the White House. The people are already set up for that.
Now, there's this video of this kid that's talking to his mom, and he's telling his mom that she can be anything she wants to be. And it's just funny because it's like, oh yeah, kid, like here's this kid giving all this like advice. Oh, the sensitive part. Here we go.
But yeah, man, you can be anything you want to be. And that's the thing nowadays, like with the help of social media, obviously you can be a social media wizard or influencer or anything like that. You just have to apply yourself. That's what you really want to do in life. I mean, if my kids came to me and were like, "Hey, Dad, we want to be fucking the next fucking Logan Paul," I'm gonna be like, "Oh, there's only one Logan Paul, so why don't you be yourself?" And that's the thing too. Just be yourself. Don't be somebody else. You can model your life after somebody, for sure. But be yourself. Be you. And that's always been my thing. I was always like, I'm me. I'm Emiliano. I'm who I want to be when I grow up. And I can honestly say I did it. And I did it off of tattoos, which is extra crazy. Because there was a time when people were like, tattoos? What the fuck? Why would you want to do tattoos? Don't you know nothing but, you know, gangsters and sailors and
That's
prostitutes
what
have
my
them?
grandfather used to say all the time. Only gangsters and sailors got tattoos. During World War II, though.
Yeah, but that was what it was though back then, man. That's who got tattoos. Gangsters and sailors. And me myself, I feel like I've placed myself in the right places during my time. You know, being able to tattoo like just different people, which led to tattooing different people, to which led to just doing everything that I've done. So I'm still learning in life. I'm still going through life. There's no set guidebook for life. You just have to kind of just go through it, man.
Oh, that's my favorite part is when they put the green soap on. It's like lotion on the skin.
Put some lotion on the skin.
Well, it does like it because it gets so dry, you know.
But I mean, I have a good support system, man. Like I said, I was talking like earlier. My mom lives here in Culpeper. She's lived in Culpeper for a couple of years now. Well, not a couple, maybe like I think 20. But that was one of the decisions why I wanted to be here in Virginia, is because I wanted to be close to her, man. I missed out a lot in life with her, especially with her living in just different areas growing up. We saw her during certain times when we'd have to go to wherever she was living to visit. But for the most part, like right now, we have a good relationship. She supports me fucking a million times over.
Yeah, soft man. It does put the lotion on the skin. This shit hurts.
It makes you feel better. It don't hurt me one bit.
I'm glad you're feeling good today.
I'm fucking loving it. I'm chilling. I'm living life, And that's the thing too. It's like I just want to live, man. I just want to fucking chill. I want to fucking I just not have any worries. Just be happy tattooing, and and I'm doing it. I got, like I said, I have a good group of artists that work here. They don't work for me; they work here with me, and that's every artist should do that. They should work for themselves and to better themselves.
I was like, they just pay like a rent or something on the space. And
no, it's a little different than that. I got a good deal with everybody. The thing too is for everybody to make a living and have money to live, man. This isn't a cash grab for me. It's definitely not a cash grab. I mean,
I don't think anything that involves quality and passion, especially like you or and me in my sense, where it involves skill. It can't be because you'll never develop that portion of yourself if it is.
yeah, my thing too is like I want I think in my opinion these artists now here they've surpassed me, dude. They've passed me in skill level and everything else, and I'm thankful I was able to like mentor and pass something on to them, because that's what it's about. You don't want to be the fucking top dog or the best anywhere. You want people to strive, and I want to learn. These guys here, they're doing things that I don't do, but I'll still learn how to do the things that they do. Whether it be working with rotary machines or whatever. We all just kind of like feed off of each other in a way.
Oh yeah.
And it's a good thing, man. There's nobody in this shop that I wouldn't feel comfortable getting tattoos from, and that's a big thing because in the last 25 years or whatever, and you know, being in Vegas and doing all that shit. I mean, there was only a handful of people that I would ever get tattooed from, just because they're full of themselves. They were fucking rock star egomaniacs that were, and that's the big part of our business too. Is a lot of ego, a lot of fucking ego in this fucking business, especially around here. People that haven't really fucking done shit in forever, and
That's always how it is,
they're acting
bro.
like they're fucking King Turd on fucking shit island,
Oh, dude, 100%.
And it's like, dude, you have, if anything, you have a year or two under your belt, dude. You have what I've gotten fucking lifetime flying to all these places that I've been, It's just crazy.
Same thing when my wife's a model and she's taking a break because she's doing homeschool with Logan.
Okay.
And she's really put him first, which I mean I think is really awesome because she is a mom 100%. And when she was modeling, I would take her to her shoots and we would go out of state and everything. She was making like $4,000 or $5,000 a month, doing modeling. And these photographers who sucked. I mean, they were really bad. Some of them didn't even know what white balance was. Their photos are coming out blue, and I'm like, with 1 second we could change that. And they're like, "Oh, I'll do it in post." But when you do it in post, it just degrades the image more and more every time you touch it. And they're like, "Oh man, they were like, if I was 25 years younger, I'd be competition to you." And I'm like, and it's just funny because even with the egos, it's just like you're here to shoot my wife. You're paying to shoot her. She's not paying for you to shoot her. And here you are trying to up me, and I'm not even taking photos, dude. Like what?
That's just it. It's that ego. Like, don't tell me how to do my job. Don't tell me that I'm better than you, kind of shit. And it's like, dude, nobody's better than anybody. Like,
it's me versus me.
Yeah, dude, tattooing, it's not a fucking competition sport. I mean, yeah, granted, you have fucking Ink Master and all that shit, but that's TV, man. That's
so yeah, let's talk about that real quick because a couple of people I've already kind of give them a little bit of rundown with you on the glam, more towards a little bit on the glam side, just to give people a kind of a background of who I have the honor of having tattoo me. You've been doing this for 30 years.
So technically, I'm in last June 12th would have been 36 years.
36 years
in the business.
All right.
Meaning, when I started apprenticeship, when I started learning tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
So I always chalk that up to being that time. But I've been able to do a lot, and I caught the wave just in time. So back in the day, there wasn't a lot of young tattoo artists in the, let's say, the 90s.
Yep.
There wasn't a lot of tattoo artists, especially young ones. And the people that I guess align myself with were ex-game guys on Warped Tour, guys like punk bands, just people my age that liked tattoos, that loved tattoos, that but they didn't want to go to fucking that old man's tattoo shop because they couldn't get what they fucking wanted. So I caught the wave just right and started tattooing like all of those type of dudes. So just over time, you get invited to do tours, like band tours. You get go on tour and fucking tattoo all summer long, or just little things. So I got to meet a lot of different bands, a lot of different people in just different businesses. Like one being tattoo businesses, or even people that later on went to open cannabis businesses. They like the guys from Cypress Hill. When the regulations and everything were changing here, and they were talking about the they're going to go ahead and have a retail sale here. My first thing was thinking I want something for my kids. I want a future for them. What can I do to provide? My first thing was what? I have friends that are in this business that have made this business, but not here on the West Coast. And I'm like thinking, franchise, why not? McDonald's did it. So I reached out to a couple of people, a couple of like heavy hitters in the business, and asked, like, hey, I want a franchise. I want to do something like this. The first guy was like, no, no way, I'm not about it. But not 24 hours later, I get a call from another one, and he was like, dude, I'm all about it. I want to go to the West Coast. I want to fucking see what it's about out there. But, California is California. I don't know if you've been to California lately.
Oh, I was there, and I was there in January for the American Autoflower Cup for our tour because we have 15 states, 12 months. And in September, I will be back in Santa Rosa for the Hall of Flowers.
Ooh, that'd be nice, man. That'd be definitely nice. See, like me, I come from like the fucking High Times Cups and fucking in Amsterdam. Those were like the only things back in the day that I was able to really like enjoy. And so anyway, back to that. I was like, I want to do this. I want to open franchises. I want to go ahead and fucking like set something up for the future. And we went through a lot of stuff. We went through a lot of shit. Like, first you got to get that money to actually open. And luckily, I found an investor that was, fuck, I'll bankroll that shit, no problem. They wanted to get on the ground level, which helped out. So, we had all of that going on, and then, trying to find out about the actual licensing. We hear that it's $10,000 to apply for this license, but we have to wait for Virginia to go ahead and put together that committee in order to start doing all of that. Well, we sat around and we waited and nothing ever came about. The committee never fucking was made, and eventually, it just kind of got put on the back burner, which was sad. It was sad for not only me, but obviously for the partner that I was going to have in this.
One thing, and that's the thing too, is that's part of the business, and that's the sucky part is you get your hopes high, and then it's a partnership that falls out, or something doesn't go right, and then something switches, and it just totally changes that direct trajectory, and it's just so unexpected.
Yeah, and I mean, it was cool because like I said, growing up in Colorado, especially like in the good part of Colorado,
Yeah,
I had friends that were, that was one thing about that part. It was a well-to-do fucking area. Like there was a lot of fucking money. So a lot of these guys that I grew up with, fucking all jumped in, had their feet in the water when it started. So they were able to, get on that ground level and be there for the cannabis when Colorado lifted the prohibition. And man, I got to see firsthand. I went out that day, flew out to Colorado to check out the opening of one of my friends' dispensaries, and fuck, dude, it was amazing. It was like holy shit. Except at that time, he also had like a fucking army of ex-rangers guarding all of his fucking money in a gas giant safe.
That's awesome.
It was crazy because I was like,
Tony Montana.
Yeah, I was like, why aren't you putting this in the bank? And they're like, well, we can't use banks because, they're scared about laundering or something, money laundering, which is, understandable at the time. But, I got to see like firsthand how it would happen, from seed to sale. And it was a good idea. But man, I just wish Virginia would eventually get their shit together. Because it can do so much for a lot of people.
I think the problem is Virginia is such a money state, and they're trying to figure out how they get theirs first before everybody else gets theirs. Because my thing is, if not, then what the fuck's the holdup?
Well, you want to know what the real holdup is? Talking to a couple of lawyers.
Yeah.
They've already sold they've already sold some licenses. They've already got rid of a couple of them. And the people that have been holding on to those licenses are big tobacco companies located in Richmond, Virginia. And come to find out, they've been growing cannabis for the last 12 years.
Mm.
So what are they preparing for? Is cigarette sales down that much that they need to jump in and take over? Is that what we're going to have? Prepackaged cannabis sales in 7-Eleven now?
Well, that's what they want. They want to Philip Morris government cheese cannabis, and that's why us as a grower community, we're highly against that because craft cannabis and homegrown cannabis, there is a different quality, and when you have people who are out here who really invest in their gardens. They're buying the best nutrients. They're watching what they're putting in. They're not putting in the GMOs and the pesticides and all the things to just boost numbers and sales. You're developing some amazing terpenes and flavors, and unless you have that mindset for the cannabis of how can we create the best experience for our users, then you're going to get shit cannabis. And that's what we all think about, the government getting their hands in it. We don't need your hands in it. We're all growers.
No, I agree 1,000% on that because that's what it comes down to. Is that they had plenty of time to fucking get in on it, but they were pushing their agenda for the tobacco.
Yeah.
And when they realized that fucking people smartened up because your fucking product is killing people. So what are they going to do now with cannabis? Are they gonna fucking put that same bullshit into the fucking cannabis and sell it like that? Only poisoning people again?
Well, it's like, who says we even want your government cheese cannabis? I don't.
I don't want any of that shit. And I mean, that was the thing too, is like, I grew up around, my dad. He grew cannabis also. And, watching him just like, take care of this stuff, just the love that he had for it was like, fuck, dude, this is crazy. It's not even like, it's not even about smoking. It's about fucking like growing and fucking just being in that vibe. And it makes you like realize, there's more to this than just fucking, the medicinal property or enjoying it. There's a lot more. There's care in the plant, care in taking care of it, care in just, and half the time too, he didn't smoke. He fucking just gave it away. He gave it to people. He just enjoyed fucking growing. So there's a lot of things that benefit from retail. But once again, the government always has something to say about something.
Well, yeah, and that's where I'm just like, healthcare, cool. Cannabis, I don't see the need.
Oh, don't get me started on healthcare. Healthcare is fucking bogus, dude. That's the bullshit fucking people that can't afford it, that need it, are suffering right now because they cannot afford healthcare. Me myself, I'll tell you straight up, I do not fucking have insurance. I do not have any kind of healthcare. My kids do, but I don't. And it's because fucking it's crazy expensive. It's too expensive.
We have Medicaid.
Yeah.
I'm able to. Well, I won't say that.
No, we won't go that route. Secret's a secret when it comes to that. So I guess what I'm
Luckily,
saying,
I have Medicaid because if I didn't, it would be bad. But
see, and that's just it, man. Like even my client, like he doesn't qualify for it because me, my not saying I what I make, but I make more than need be to qualify for anything like that.
oh yeah.
But it goes back to, dude, that's crazy because I can't afford it. I can't afford the service. I can't afford any of that shit. Dude, I had my first surgery done fucking 3 months ago. I had to pay for my own fucking hernia operation. I lived with the hernia for 3 fucking years. Because I didn't
Damn,
have-
son, that's serious.
Dude, it was horrible. And I would have lived with it longer if you know, if I ever wanted to do anything again, like play with my kid or do anything like that.
That is seriously insane.
Doing okay, dude? You need a hug?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna take our next break. I was looking for my vape so I could go outside
I
with
think
it.
it was right there on top of the thing, right?
This over there.
No, it's not. It fell off. So yeah, dude, it's definitely a fucking crazy world we live in. It's a doggy dog world. How's it? Where's the song go? The dog.
Yeah, something like that. It definitely is, and that's the thing is that's why it's so important, and that's why I'm trying to explain to people and even myself is to get that discipline, to get that plan together because your life's a wild ride, and if you're not on top of that shit, it will eat you alive.
No, it will. It'll definitely eat you alive, man. And that's the sad thing about life is that you gotta conform. You don't have a lot of shit, then what are you gonna have? Especially necessities, the necessities. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy now. Like cost of everything, the cost of living, the cost of everything. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand too. Is this whole cost of living and going up. That doesn't make any sense either because the pay's not going up.
The pay never goes up. It's always bullshit. But it always happens, dude. It always happens during election time. Price of everything goes up or goes down or doesn't, depending on which one's lying to you.
So let's talk a little bit about what your some of the things that your work has provided for you, especially opportunity. You've had some really cool opportunities working with all different types of people. Who would you say your most unique client or customer has ever been?
Most unique as far as
Like most memorable, like somebody like you're like, yeah, I'll never forget doing your tattoo.
dude, I've tattooed some crazy people over my time, but you know, I tell you, man, there's times when you're tattooing somebody, and that's one thing about tattoos is that you start talking, you open up a little more, you kind of like, you start learning a lot about whoever you're tattooing. So it almost turns into a therapy session in a way. So you start learning a lot about people. You start learning like why they're getting the tattoo they're getting. Because one thing too is tattoos are therapeutic for some people. It's closure for some people. Like me myself, like I don't really have room to get tattooed anymore. But unfortunately, like when somebody passes away, I'll get something for them. I'll get a little, just a little tattoo for that person. So just to have something, and I think that's kind of the thing. And it's like everybody's kind of like that tattoo, that best tattoo that you can do. Like even right now, dude. Like we're learning so much about each other and talking about each other. Not only does it help you and stuff like that, dude. It's good for me to talk. Good for just to have that. And people learn a little more about me because a lot of people only know me for being like what they see, that tattoo guy, that guy that can tattoo. They don't know like the real me. They don't know like what I go through because I really am a private person, man. I'm like probably one of the most private people you've ever met.
So what made you want to do the whole podcast and
Because man, like if it's something that can benefit other people,
yeah,
then I'm fucking down for it, man. Like I'm down to tell you my stories and tell you, my trials and tribulations of what I've been through. to get to where I'm at. Because I mean, me myself, man, I'm pretty humble. I don't see myself as a success story. I don't really see that, man. I see myself as that fucking kid that was fighting to get out of wherever he was at. And I think a lot of it is just, you know, I try to be humble. I try to just be like, you know what, man, all of this right now, this can get taken away with like that.
Oh,
I can lose
100%.
that like that.
100%.
Especially times like this, man, whether it's financial, whether it's fucking pissing off somebody by saying something that they don't agree with. Because I'm a vocal person when it comes to tattoos. Like this right here is my fucking love. This is my life. This is my religion. Like people say, would you die for tattoos? No, I wouldn't die for tattoos, but I live to tattoo, and that's my life. You know, I take it seriously because it's my life. I put 110% into all of this.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to shortchange anybody. This is just as important to you as it is to me.
Well, it's not even that. It's also your reputation and the value of being able to offer great quality work and, you know, be known for such things.
See, and that's my goal with this shop. We were talking about goals for
Yep.
the shop and stuff. Like my goal for this shop is to offer customer service being number one, man. Like without customer service, you're nothing. You're gonna fucking fail.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, dude, I did a little market research before I opened the shop. I'm not gonna just jump in and be like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm gonna do it. No, man, I went to every shop in town and surrounding area. And you know, these people don't know me from fucking anybody because everybody around here is just like brand new. So I went to every shop and I checked out every shop, and I'm telling you, man, everybody had that fucking rock star attitude. Like, oh, you know, what are you looking for? Nobody even talked to me, really. I went to the shop too, and nobody fucking talked to me. They all just kind of like played me off, like, hey, whatever. And I would ask questions like, hey, can I check out some of your work, or you got portfolios or anything like that? And people just blew me off.
Why do you think like the attitude exists in the tattoo space like that? Where does that come from?
It comes from ego. I think a lot of these people think, you know, I'm a tattoo artist. I'm above everybody. I'm the baddest motherfucker ever. I'm the shit. But nobody's ever had to prove that they're the shit. You know, it's almost like the big fish, small pond story. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you've never been out of this pond. There's a whole fucking ocean out there.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people are, you know, think that, you know, this is it. When in reality, it's not it, man. This is just like, this is just a spot, a stock. So, with that being said, customer service was my first fucking thing that I was looking for. Because my shops in Vegas, they all deal with customer service. We want people to be comfortable. You know, tattoo shops are a scary place anyway. You know, you don't want to just, you know, walk into a shop and then feel like you're inconveniencing the fucking artist by being there. And that's kind of like how a lot of these guys are. And I don't like that shit. You know, these people are here to get something that means something to them. That you know, might there's a reason why they're here. Why make them feel like shit? Why make them feel like any less of a person?
Well, I think, and that's the thing is the reason is it may not be because of how they perceive it. Maybe they just hate themselves and they're, you know, a shitty person. But it damages the experience. And when you talk about like places like Vegas, it's all up. Ow. It's all about experiences.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, man. Like, I used to be like told a long time ago where I grew up at tattooing. I grew up with a bunch of fucking bikers. Like these guys were like fucking straight up bikers. Like they will fucking kill you kind of bikers. And you know, they didn't take no shit. They didn't take no shit from nobody. I don't know where I was going with that. I lost fucking train of thought. What did you just say though?
I said, ow.
No, because it actually had significance.
Okay.
Shit.
Anybody in the chat, what were we just talking about?
Before he went out?
Mm.
But Yeah, man, I don't even know. It was a good one. I was on something. Thanks for saying that.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I told you I'd keep it real with you.
No, I kept it real, bro. I'm keeping it real.
Oh, it doesn't make it
Okay,
my
so
face.
I think I remember. So customer service, man, like
Yeah.
coming into a shop and everything, after like 2000 when tattoos started getting popular after the TV shows and everything, you know, more you would see an influx of soccer moms coming in, wanting to get something small, wanting to get their fingers tattooed, wanting just to get the fucking most outrageous shit, and they want class. They want fucking, they want Gucci. They don't want fucking Walmart.
Yeah, to them it's an art piece.
Yeah, and not only that, it's not that we're trying to show out here. In a way, we're just making it comfortable for everybody. Because tattoos mean a lot to people, and you want to be able to be inviting and have people be like, dude, this place is fucking cool because they treated me right. They didn't make me feel like an asshole. They gave me a solid tattoo. Because honestly, man, when I came out here, guess how many customers I had?
Oh,
Before
zero.
I came out here.
Zero.
Zero, dude. Exactly. I didn't know fucking anybody out here. So putting all my eggs into a basket, I was a little worried. I ain't gonna lie, like I was fucking scared. I was scared nobody was gonna walk through that fucking door. And I'm telling you, within fucking a month, dude, it was fucking the house. It was rocking. The place was just fucking packed all the time. And then good old COVID fucking came in and said, "Hi, I'm gonna go ahead and
fuck you over.
I'm gonna go ahead and fuck you over real well." And,
well, at least your rooms are 6 feet apart.
yeah, and that was, that's the only thing that saved us. Well, technically, the only thing that saved us is that Virginia is a state that we are not regulated by the health department. There's no health department in fucking tattooing in Virginia. We're regulated under the barbers and cosmetology.
Gotcha.
Some funny shit. So COVID time, during that time, all the politicians' wives, their hair was all fucked up, so they needed to get their hair done. And I'm sure a lot of them persuaded their fucking husbands to pass a law to where they could open up hair salons. Well, good for us, because we fall under that hair salon thing. So
nice.
we were like, okay, we're able to open. That's to where, like, friends of mine back home on the West Coast, dude, they were fucking closed for 6 to 8 months. Friends in California, fucking a year to 2 years. And they were being pirates. They were opening their shops, but like, underground kind of thing. And people were paying like informants to just basically sell out tattoo shops. Like if they're open, let us know. We'll pay you $25 and we'll turn off their power and their water.
Damn.
So it was pretty fucking nuts, dude. It was a crazy fucking time for tattoos. What's funny is that the fucking air conditioning dude's gonna be here as soon as we finish this fucking tattoo.
I'm not worried about the air conditioning.
I'm worried
trying
about
to figure out where my vape went. So when we take our next break, I can go hit it. Oh, I'm sitting on it. There we go. I was sitting on it.
Yeah. We didn't feel it? Fucking tickle
no,
your fucking
you ever
cheeks
like
or what, bro?
Well, it's the way it's sitting is like lined up against the side of me, so I didn't feel it.
Or your ass is pretty much numb already from fucking sitting there the whole time.
That and my arm and everything.
My bad, homie. My bad. We're probably about like 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
I'm not worried about it. I like talking to you.
Yeah, I like talking to you too, man. We should definitely do this again.
Oh, we're going to at the tattoo convention.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk more.
And I'll also have you over to the podcast room.
Yeah, I would like to do that. I would like to just be on without having a tattoo and just kind of like shoot the shit. And
yeah, and what we'll do is we can also dive into like more topics, like kind of like rabbit hole a little bit more.
My brother has a podcast that I've done his a couple of times. He's in Colorado. Shout out to the Hobby G show. But
Hobby G.
He does like a lot of food stuff and fucking records and shit like that. Pretty cool kid. Really proud of him. Love his shit. Always down to help him out.
Oh my god. This one is not fun.
Making that shit pucker.
What?
Making that shit pucker.
No.
Not in a good sense, but in a,
Like, has there ever been a point with you tattooing where you like, I can't work with you anymore. You move too much. Like either you stop moving or stop complaining, or I'm gonna stop.
you know, I am the most fucking brutal shit talker ever. I'll be like, oh, come on, dude, fucking quit being a pussy. Just fucking go through it. You're almost there. You know, I'll give people shit and just to lighten it up because you know people are funny that way. But you know, I try to be funny with it. I love people for the most part.
For the most part.
Nice people.
Then when they piss me off.
There's a lot of fucking dingleberries that I don't like fucking with.
So let's dive. So just so people can get an idea, who would you say the biggest celebrity you've been tattooed has been?
The biggest, I can tell you that it just depends on who you are familiar with. So acting wise, I've done Nick Swartzen from Adam Sandler movies. You ever watch Adam Sandler movies? Or Reno 911? Or Grandma's Boy? You ever see Grandma's Boy?
Yeah.
You know, the fucking Dance Dance Revolution guy that does like the fucking. He's the one making out with the old lady during the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So he was probably one of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. He was like, because Grandma's Boy is like one of my favorite movies, so he was doing dialogue from that fucking movie the whole time I was tattooing him.
That's
So
amazing.
he was fucking awesome. Shit, dude, I tattooed like, I don't know, a couple of cool ones were like, you ever see like Duck Dynasty, that TV show Duck Dynasty?
Vaguely.
Okay, so those guys, they're pretty well known. So I tattooed those guys, done some shit on them. A lot of like sports people, athletes, meaning like basketball. You like basketball or anything like that?
I'd rather play it.
Okay, so like I don't know, fucking Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony.
Wow, okay.
Um,
Now, how do you meet these people? Are they just come to the shop that you're at,
so
or?
like I was saying, you kind of like you end up like making connections with people. So these people will know people, and then they'll kind of like tell their friends, especially with like a lot of like quote unquote celebrities, like shows like TMZ and all those other shows. They pay people to rat out like celebrities, like, hey, tell me when like Lindsay Lohan's gonna be getting a fucking tattoo or something. You know what I mean? They'll pay you money. Me myself, I'm fucking quiet, dude. Like there's people that I've tattooed that I'll never tell anybody that I tattooed them. And you'd be surprised, those people. You'd be like, holy fuck, that person has a tattoo. I'll tell you off air, but I won't tell you on air.
Yeah,
But,
I have the secrets. Fuckers.
But yeah, just different bands. A lot of different bands. Guys from Korn, guys from like Rob Zombie's band.
That's awesome.
Like
Oh, I
tattooed the
see.
guitar
Okay.
player from Rob Zombie's band, John Five.
Okay.
He was with Marilyn Manson when I tattooed him, or he was playing with Marilyn Manson at that time. See, shit, dude, fucking. There's just a lot of people, man. Obviously, Pink, because she was married to Carrie Hart, who I ran all his shops for 10 years. Yeah. Just different people like reality shows. I mean, I have a story of a guy that I turned down for a tattoo, and this dude fucking was trying to give up $10,000 for this tattoo. If I would have done it, like, kind of pissed me off because he threw money at me in a way.
Yeah, it's probably not the
I kind of
nicest
found that
thing.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
So there was this old dude who came into the shop, and the shop was at the Hard Rock Casino. And came in with security, and usually when security comes in, that means that there's somebody. So anyway, this guy's talking about getting a fucking tattoo, and he wanted the Pink Panther, like the fucking cartoon. Pink
Yeah.
Panther. And I was like, cool with it. I'm like, yeah, cool, no problem, man. What do you want to get it? And he's like, I want to get it on my fucking cheek. And I'm like, your ass cheek? And he's like, no, my cheek, my face. And I look at the guy, and he's got a fucking Armani suit on. He looks fucking like not the type to get any fucking tattoo. And I started laughing. I was like, all right, dude, did you lose a bet or something? He's like, no, it's something I want to get. And I'm like, well, you don't have any tattoos, right? And he's like, no, I don't have any tattoos. It's my first one. I'm like, well, I don't really feel comfortable tattooing your face. And he's like, well, why not? I'm like, because you don't have any tattoos. And I don't want to do that to you. That's where my morals kick in.
Yeah.
Like, any other time I'd have been all fuck it, whatever. But so this guy's like, this is what I want, and you're gonna do it. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Whoa, yeah. Hello.
So now we're just gonna do the random shit, man.
All right.
So, dude, fucking starts talking shit to me like, oh, you don't want to fucking make money? And I'm thinking, no, I want to make money. I just don't want to fucking tattoo your fucking face. So he starts in with, you know who I am kind of bullshit. And I'm thinking, dude, if I hear that, I got a fucking nickel for every time somebody said that, I would own this fucking casino. Anyway, he's like, no, you're going to fucking tattoo me. And he pulls out a chip out of his fucking pocket, like a casino chip, not a potato chip. Pulls out the chip and goes on the table. I trip out. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It's a $10,000 fucking shit. And I'm like, what's this for? And he's like, for my fucking tattoo. You want to make money, don't you? And I'm like, oh, bro. I was like, me myself, I'm not gonna fucking tattoo you, but I'll ask my artist here if anybody wants to do it. He's like, no, I want you to do it. And I'm like, no, I'll ask my artist. So I proceed to go over to every fucking artist that's working, and all the guys are like tattooing, and they kind of stop and they do the look over, and they're like, fuck no, I'm not tattooing that old man. So I come back to the dude, and I'm like, yeah, man, sorry, nobody wants to fucking tattoo you. He's like, oh, you know who the fuck I am? I'm gonna get you go. I'm gonna close your shop down. I'm gonna get you fired. I'm like, good, please, I need a fucking vacation. So, dude fucking like leaves, and I'm not even fucking around, dude. Like 15 minutes later, I get a call from the president of the Hard Rock Casino in Vegas, and he is fucking pissed. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Do you know who that guy is? And I'm like, dude, I don't know who the fuck he is. He's like, he's a high roller. He spends like fucking billions at the casino kind of bullshit. And I'm like, that's cool, but he wants a fucking tattoo on his face. And dude's like, I don't give a fuck if he wants it on his fucking dick. He's gonna do it.
Oh shit.
And that's when I got a little more irritated. I'm like, no, that's not gonna fucking happen. And I said, no, he already left anyway, so he's not gonna get the tattoo. Anyway, I get a call from the owner of the shop, and he's laughing because we're actually friends. And he's like, dude, what the fuck is going on down there? I'm like, this motherfucker wanted a tattoo on his face with a Pink Panther. And the owner was like, well, what the fuck is the problem? And I was like, dude, he didn't have any tattoos, and he just didn't fit the type. So it was all said and done. Didn't do it. I'm tattooing in my station the next day, and my station is right next to it's right next to a window, so people could walk through the hall and like sit there and watch a tattoo being done. So fucking dude walks by the window, pounds on the fucking window, points to his face, and then flips me off. Somebody fucking did it on him. Now I don't know if he paid $10,000 for it, but pretty fucking crazy. Good morning. He's wearing the mask because it's air conditioned.
It's a what?
The mask is air conditioned.
Yeah, it has AC built in, PA system.
Yeah, it's got a Bluetooth, and it's like those what are those things called?
It's actually my numbing mask. It numbs the tattoo.
But it's not working.
Yeah, I'm going strong, but I'm feeling it on the tender side. On the back, I'm not too worried about it. As we get up to this area, it's gonna kill me.
Yeah. No, if it hasn't killed you yet, you're not gonna die. Don't worry.
Well, yeah, because this will be our last tattoo together. If I do,
Why if you die?
you do at the funeral?
Dude, I'll fucking go in the morgue and tattoo you.
Whew, good,
That's hard.
because I wanted to tell all my friends I haven't seen in years that I was fully tatted.
No, you know what it'd be like? It'd be like you were fucking under anesthesia.
That's what I want. Just wake up and it's all gone. Stop being a beach and come on is what they're saying.
We could fully tattoo you, but I don't think you'll wake up. You're dead.
Let's just do a full, like, instead of blackout, we're gonna do green out, like a full permanent green suit.
So you look like a booger.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Like fucking loose neck booger walking around.
Chroma key my ass. All right. We're almost done too, so I've been good.
He hasn't cried or shit his pants once.
And Honey over here.
Honey just posted up. She don't. Chill.
That's how you
She's a
tell.
puppy.
That's how you tell a service dog or non-service dog. Obviously, she has tasks, and that's what makes her a service dog. But when people say, "Oh, my dog's a service animal," their dog should act like this, unless commanded differently.
No, I've done the whole service animal thing to get an apartment or something.
Well, that's an emotional support. So service animal is different.
Yeah, that's true.
So I actually have a letter from a doctor, and then Honey actually has a task trainer that teaches her like deep pressure therapy, tactile redirection. And right now we're working on med management. So in the mornings, Honey brings me my meds for me.
Oh, okay.
So Honey actually performs tasks. So this year, Honey will been on, by the end of the year, 30 airplanes and
Holy
15
shit.
different states with me. Last year we were on 8 airplanes, 10 states.
So did she sit like in her seat by herself? Or
Nope, at my feet, right in front of me.
That's awesome.
So we go through security together. We arrive at the airport together. She doesn't ride in a crate. She doesn't get crated.
That's good.
I'm with her the entire time. So I get on the plane, so I get off the plane. We never separate.
That's fucking awesome, dude. Shit. I was like, it's crazy. Like my son, he had.
Well, for your son, you could get one.
But so I bought a red-nosed pit bull on fucking Craigslist in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and this fucking dog was the best dog ever.
When we get to here.
Yeah, when we get there, I'll let you take a break.
All right, cool.
But yeah, dude, I bought him off a crackhead in Vegas, and this dog fucking he grew up with my son, so he would help him. He would like anytime my son would try to like wander off, like open the front door and fucking wander off.
Yeah.
Or block him from falling into the swimming pool.
Yeah, yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Like fucking best dog ever, man.
Technically, those would be tasks that a service dog for an autistic person would need. We have a thing that we're working on right now, which is called buffering, and that's where Honey on command would get between me and another person, and she would start using her body and would nudge against the person's shin to get them to create space between me and the person. If I started to feel like overwhelmed or whatever. So yeah, anything like that, it's really great.
Do you get overwhelmed easy?
Not so much anymore after I've had Honey, but after the car accident where I almost died, I dealt with a lot of survivor's guilt. And
you got in a car accident?
Well, yeah. So if you listen to my podcast, I almost left this earth on 2 ways. I almost committed suicide when I was younger, and then I almost died in a car accident in 2020 at 70 miles an hour involving a semi-truck. And we walked away from it. Me, Lacey, my son, and Lacey's mom.
Oh, man.
And the car rolled 7 times. We landed upside down in the ditch and everything. But after that, I dealt with like a lot of survivor's guilt and a lot of high anxiety. And yeah, in the beginning, it was a lot. And I had to work through it. And that's why they put me on a whole bunch of meds. And I didn't want to be on the meds. And so I told them that I was quitting it because it was actually making it worse than what it already was. And then they were like, well, we recommend that you have something. And they're like, an alternative to meds is we could get you a service dog. And then they explained what a service dog would be. And then I got a letter from the hospital from my doctor, Mary Washington, and we went to the animal shelter. And this is where the cool magic story about honey comes in. I went there and I said, hey, I was looking at this dog named Neptune, and they're like, Neptune would need way too much training and is way too hyper. But if you need a service animal, we had the perfect animal for you. And I stayed in the front, didn't even look at a single dog that day. They brought out Honey. Honey and me spent 30 minutes together in the observation field chamber. I told the universe and Honey that I chose her, and we've been together ever since.
That's awesome.
It's like the universe picked Honey.
I strongly believe in that, man. I believe that the universe does bring people
Honey.
and everything together.
Because hers is gorgeous, and hers knows that I'm talking about hers.
Oh, Honey. Yeah, she's a good dog. Sure, man. Like, just well behaved. I've had two like guys that have been in war that have like service animals.
Mm-hmm.
Those dogs are fucking horrible. They don't fucking. They still run around and try.
Then they're not real service animals.
Yeah.
See, the problem with ADA is there's no regulation, there's no training, there's no certification. Anybody can slap the vest on it. When it comes down to the ADA standard of service animal, does the dog perform tasks? Tasks include physical things, not just making you feel better. Deep pressure therapy is where Honey will lay on my body and she will lick my face if I'm having a bad moment. Tactile redirection is where, if you look at my thumbs, I pick at them real bad because of anxiety and biting them.
Yeah.
Honey senses that, will come put her head between my hands to stop that behavior.
That's awesome.
And then the med management is her getting my meds for me. So those are actual tasks, things that Honey actually does to assist my well-being. That's the difference between a service animal and an emotional support. Emotional support just makes you feel good, is there for you, blah, 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 but it has no real training on how to assist the human.
Yeah. That's too bad, man. But she's a good one, man, for sure. She's definitely
Not that I want more needle, but
no, I'm from that. Wherever it's shallow, I'll come back on it. So even when we get to the other part, I'll let it sit and see where it shallows out.
if anybody has any questions for Emiliano, make sure to ask them in the chat. I'm sure he'll be happy to go through a couple of them. God damn it. I'm doing so good.
He was doing good. He's always fucking bitched up like a little boy.
It happens.
Nah, you're all
I
right.
told if anybody can see the pain in my eyes, so you have to see my eyes, I give him $1,000, but I don't think people are gonna be able to see that with my glasses
I'm not gonna
on.
be able to see shit.
So you keep my 1,000 and you'll never know. No, actually, it's been way less painful than I thought. There's only a couple areas, and we're in those areas where I knew it would be sensitivity, but
No, that's all part of the jam, dog.
you got to earn it, dude.
I guess that's what they say. I don't really.
The only thing
I've already done earned all mine. I don't fucking have to go back in time and get them done. I'm good.
yeah, I'm not gonna get any of mine redone, and when they fade, like distant memories.
All right, here. What the fuck is the guy coming up the road? I'm gonna put a little something on you, and then I'll fucking let you go do your thing.
Yep, let's smoke real quick. All right, dudes. Look, we are halfway there.
Three quarters. We're almost done. We got about another 20 minutes or so. Here you go, bro. Look over something.
Just want to show them
Oh,
real
okay.
quick.
Are they still seeing it? Can they still see it?
Yeah, it's paused on my Service Pro, but see, I'm watching me on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
See, here you are putting the shrink wrap on me.
Puts the shrink wrap on his skin.
See, So I know it's live. If you have to say anything or you're going to go having private conversations, just put your mic right here.
Yeah, I usually just put it off. I've learned.
All right. Everybody, stay here. I'll be right back. The live's going to stay on. I'm going to go smoke a joint, and then I'll be right back. And
I'm gonna just sweat my balls off.
I will be right back.
Do you need anything, man? Water, anything? Pop, soda?
No, we're doing amazing.
All right, dude.
Actually, no, I would take a Coke.
Yeah,
You
I'm
have
grabbing
a
a
Coke.
Coke.
Come on, girl. Let's go get you a walk real quick. From now, man, to the house. Twice.
Yeah, check. So there was a.
Oh, they don't think you didn't show up.
I did. I just popped the old coat. Thank you, by the way. The guy didn't show up.
AC guy, not yet.
Yeah. I will see you guys. Quit being a little bitch. Get back to the why.
It's not all good. That's fucking.
I have 25 minutes of film. Do I need to switch SD cards, or is that enough
I
time
think
for
that's
you?
enough time. Yeah.
Okay.
We should get it done by then.
Go.
Yeah, it's all downhill now, man. Just that red.
So completing it, making it official. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We are going to get back to this wonderful live here. All right.
Get the thing out of your pocket.
No, I wound up smoking a joint. Didn't even worry about it.
Yeah.
What's cool is, look, you can keep the base, and if you can get a dispenser that has the cartridges, You
On
can
road?
just plug it and play
I
it.
haven't seen a road for a while.
Really? Hold on.
Yeah,
Feedback.
since Vegas, back when Road was fucking coming out. That shit was bomb. I miss those.
Okay, so we have a great question for Ames High Cannabis. He would like to know what type of tattoo gun are you using? He's been in the game since the Hummingbird popped on the scene.
Hummingbird, so you're talking rotary machines? Well, first rule in tattooing, man, call it a machine. Never call it a gun. Guns kill people.
I thought bullets kill people.
No. Cops kill people, but we're fucking just saying that. This machine right here is just a coil machine, so it's ran on coils. It is a Todd Noble Rolex machine, so it's actually a Rolex, which is crazy. They got into the tattoo machine game, but I pretty much just use coil machines because not only that's what I'm used to, but I find them to work fast and efficient for me. So, as the old saying goes, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's my biggest thing. Is I try to stay true to old school tattooing as much as I can. Because with rotary machines, there's no soul, there's no life to it, man. It's just a motor pumping. The only soul that you have is whoever's doing the tattoo. And hopefully they have some soul.
What does that mean?
So just putting feeling behind it, putting their all into it. Being able to, like with these type of machines, it's mechanics. Like it's almost like driving an old car. If something goes wrong, you kind of go through the steps to fix it. As to where like a rotary machine, it's just a motor. There's no mechanics behind it. That makes sense. Plus, they hit different. They put in the ink a little different. They put it, in my opinion, it's like almost like being tattooed by hand, like a traditional Samoan tattoo, where they tap it in with like the shark's teeth. Every like hit is a mark. It'll leave a mark. Yeah, that's kind of how these machines are. Every time it hits, it's gonna leave a mark.
The second question, which I can answer, is yes, he's used 3 different setups. So do you have a machine set up for shading and a second setup for lining?
I have 3 machines set up. So I have 2 liners and 1 shader. So I have 3 machines.
We were using like a different. We were using one for like the thick lines on the logo, and then you were using one for thin line, and then we were using one like we are now for the color.
Yeah. So with that, each machine is set up like a brush, like a paintbrush. You don't just use one paintbrush to do a painting. You use multiple.
That's true.
And so you use the needles that are called for. You know what I mean? Something that's gonna cover the area consistent and easy. It's almost like you don't use a toothbrush to paint a wall.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, it would take forever. And it'd be inconsistent. So you kind of.
Have you ever used a tattoo needle that's like that wide that they use on full blackouts ever?
I've tried it.
And you don't like it?
No, I just kind of messed around with one time on like a fake skin. And dude, that shit is. No, it's hard to control those. Because you got to keep it kind of level. If you go a certain way, it's going to dig into you a little differently. So you got to kind of be able to maneuver those needles.
So, what would be your favorite setup? Like, how many needles per shader do you prefer?
So it's funny because I only use 3 needle configurations.
Okay.
I've only used 3 needle configurations since I started tattooing. One being this right here is a 15 mag shader, which is 15 needles
Okay.
flat. My liner machine, I used a 5 needle liner, and the one that I use to do thick lines, I use a 9 needle.
So that's what we're using. Nine.
Yeah,
Nine,
I use a 9,
15.
5s, and 15s, and those are my go-tos. So I've used that for forever. For every tattoo I do, I use that. Whether it be a big giant tattoo to a little finger tattoo, I always use the same needles. Not the same needles, because that's gross, but same needle configurations.
When dealing with ink in the skin,
Uh-huh.
what's the secret? Like, 'cause, I noticed that you don't go straight up and down. You're at an angle.
There's different angles that you kind of use. Skin is skin. It's not paper, so you're gonna have to find different angles that the needle will go into the skin and leave the ink. So it's almost like kind of finding that sweet spot in a way. Now, have you been tattooed with a rotary machine before?
I have on my
Yeah.
chest.
Now, do you find that rotary machines are a little less painful than coil?
Well, I don't know, because even today there's been areas where there's almost no pain and it's just vibration. It actually kind of feels good.
Yeah.
And then there's other areas when we get to like the top again where I'm like, oh fuck, that hurt. So with the rotary machine, I had it on my chest and I got the Rocky Horror Picture Shows.
Oh,
I used to
shit.
be a cast member.
Oh, would you play? Which one?
I played all characters.
You played everybody?
Rocky to Frankenfurter to Brad to.
To Janet? Don't say
Well,
Janet.
no, I didn't play
would
the
say-
female parts, but
Yeah.
but University Mall Theaters up in Fairfax,
Okay.
they had the live show
Yeah.
every Friday and Saturday night.
Do they still have it?
Yeah,
Oh shit!
I think so.
You know what's crazy is I
I had this whole booklet that somebody made on how to be every single character, all the songs, all the dances, how everything goes. And yeah, no, he does up the whole thing, and then you involve the cast members and people that have never been there before. It's a really fun thing.
That's awesome. I've been like probably a million times.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Not to that one, but to Rocky Horror. Like pretty much all over the world, man. I've always tried to go to midnight viewings of it wherever I was at, kind of get the vibe of people. But yeah, man, that's one of my favorites. Not that I can do every dialogue that goes with the movie, but I'll be throwing some rice at people and toast and everything else. But anyway, what do you have on there? What's on your chest? You didn't say. Is it Frankenfurter?
Rocky Horror Picture Show lips.
Oh, just the lips? Okay.
Yep, the lips. And then on my other side of the chest, I have see, this is an uncomfortable part. I have my grandparents tattooed.
Okay. So I don't know if you noticed, but like I do mainly black and gray tattoos.
Yeah.
Which is funny. So whenever I do get a good color, it's something.
I think it's getting more painful because my body knows that we're towards the end and I'm getting impatient.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want it to be done.
No, I feel you. You're doing good.
And then,
But back to the rotary coil thing.
yeah.
Dude, I'm actually getting. Well, I've been tattooed lately by
I was going to ask you if you're
rotary
still
machine.
getting tattoos or you're
Yeah.
kind of done with that.
No,
or...
I'm actually back in it. One of my favorite artists actually works here. She has been tattooing me a lot lately and started my head.
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely working on more of it. When are we working on more of it? He's actually the one that's doing it.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome. We should get you on the podcast next.
You could. You really need
You
to.
really? That would be great. I would love that.
You know, she would do really well with the podcast because there's some things that we could talk about as far as like women in the business, and how hard it is for women to actually be involved in tattooing.
Oh, I believe it. And my wife is my business partner, and she's a badass with tattoos, and you'll definitely get along with her great. And she's somebody that you'll love talking to because as a business owner, as a woman too, she's not a tattoo artist, but we do production and everything. We fight the same stigmas with her where people are like, oh, so does your wife just like help you out or is she out? And she's like, no, she's co-owner of everything. She's the one you're usually talking to on email, so it would be great, from your perspective as an artist, but then as a conversation about just being in business as a woman, and kind of that misconception. So
yeah, she's
I invite that.
She definitely overcame a lot to get to where she has.
You what? That's great. And my whole podcast, just so you know, it's called SmokeBusters. That's the logo that we're getting tattooed, which is all about breaking down the stigmas of cannabis using real people and their stories. So, like today, we were talking with Emiliano about his son, EJ, and his autism, how he used CBD. We've talked to rape victims. We've talked to trauma victims. We've talked to people that have saved their children's lives. We've talked to people that have saved their own lives. We've talked to people that have been in wheelchairs for 7 and 9 years, told that they would never walk again, and now they're walking again. And they all credit cannabis. And even if you don't use cannabis, you can still be on the podcast. Like next week, we have a guy who's 25 years sober, doesn't do cannabis or anything, won't even take a Tylenol because he knows the type of person he is. And it's one step back to where he doesn't want to ever go back to.
Yeah.
So it's a really great platform. So I'd love to have you on.
Yeah, I think.
Perfect. Well, we have a full podcast studio, so you can either come there or maybe I get into a thing where I do podcasts with tattoo artists and just fill up my whole box.
There you go. Yeah, I would definitely like to go to your studio and
Please.
do one. Yeah, man, for sure.
And you know what you could do is just do a group conversation. I can have 4 people on at one time, myself included, so 3 others.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do a Black Horse night and say, hey, it's me, her, and myself, and then another person, and we're going to talk about tattoos. We're going to smoke some weed, hang out, get to know each other, and really shoot the shit. The podcast is the room is at my house, so it's right next to my garden, so you can see the live plants everywhere. Oh yeah,
you better stop with that. We're gonna go right now. Let's go.
Oh well,
I think
I'll show you in the car some. I'll leave you with some of my fresh harvest from my strawberry Cadillac.
You better stop it, dude. I love Cadillacs.
Well, I know you say you driving one.
No, dude. Like I said, we're all pretty much like enthusiasts in the cannabis world.
Good.
And there's Eddie too, man. Eddie be really good. He's fucking good vibes all day, Eddie.
Then invite him over.
Oh yeah, he'll go. Let me shallow end it real quick, couple of little spots, and we're good. But yeah, man, I think we'd all have fun on that thing. We could all talk tattoos and bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Because I like the bullshit and I like to talk tattoos. All right.
Oh, it's the devil's in the details, right?
Oh, Dabble. Is that you or me beeping?
No, that's Honey's caller.
Oh, she's got something too?
Well, she has is GPS in her correction, so the beep is letting you know that she's stationary for a certain period of time.
Okay.
So they're usually used for hunting dogs, and when the hunting dog would stop, that's where it would indicate that either the dog has something or whatever.
That's cool though, man. So, as I was talking to you earlier, I'm really, I'm glad we hooked up. I'm glad we got to, get this going on, and I think there'll definitely be a future.
Oh, there's going to be tons, and that's the vast majority of this. Is we can make it whatever you guys come up with. With the SmokeBusters and Madman Plant platform, yes, I'm in cannabis, but I'm also trying to be in different arenas. And with mental health has such a wide, vast spread, that's why I have such confidence about setting up my booth at your convention and getting some really great conversations. Because what better than like what we discussed earlier do tattoos tie into usually? Memories, people, dogs, animals, their love for unicorns or rainbows or whatever the fuck it may be that they're putting on themselves, a joint ripping a ribbon, like.
Do that,
But the value is just like what we make of it and how we build it.
yeah, dude, we could totally do a lot with this. We can go anywhere with it.
And that's why when I designed this and I created this logo myself, is the whole thing is we are breaking the stigma of cannabis one joint at a time. You know what I mean? So
yeah, one joint at a time, dude. That's all it takes.
hello to the people watching. We're almost done. Almost.
2 more minutes and we'll be done.
2 more minutes.
2
Are
more
you doing
minutes.
the white now?
You want white? You can do white.
Well, whatever you suggest.
I
What
use
are we
just
gonna do?
Your skin's pretty white, but I got to hit up a couple of little spots with the red on the smaller needle to get into the.
All right, just give me 1 second. I just want to look at just this real quick. How much? I have 7 minutes, so
Oh, you're good, dude. We'll be
okay.
done by the time.
Because if not, I'm just changing SD cards and give us another 117 minutes. Yeah, because I didn't know people would believe me. That I was like, I'm gonna go get my logo tattooed on my arm to show my dedication, and I'm gonna do it live.
Dude, I'm glad you did it early on.
Me too.
I mean, like I said, dude, everything happens for a reason. I'm
It
a
does.
firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Right time, right place, right everything. I mean, it's kind of, like I said, dude, it's how I found myself in this shop, fucking right time, right place. I actually met my business partner in the shop on my day off. I went into the shop to tattoo him because he was on me about getting a tattoo for a while, and just that chance meeting right there and being able to lock me in with the shop. So, everything happens for a reason, man.
That is I think I like the 15 blade better.
Yeah, 15 is always good because
You get singler and singler, and it's like, holy crap!
you gotta see when I do single needle fucking black and gray. Just one little needle. I'll do a whole ass big giant tattoo on you.
That's right. So yeah, and you said the Japanese style, right? Is what you like really appreciate.
I've actually, Japanese style is fucking dope.
Could we come up with a Japanese style tattoo, but it's all cannabis related? Because then I could finish out. I could cover this up because it comes with those giant circles, and then it could come down and complete. It looks like it's Japanese art, but the closer you look at it, you realize it's all marijuana related.
Yeah, totally. You know what's crazy though? Like going to Japan and being a fucking cannabis smoker, it's hard. It's illegal. You can't get away with that shit.
Yeah, in some countries like Singapore, they'll kill you.
Oh, dude, yeah, you'll go to fucking prison.
Mm-hmm.
You're done.
We're done, everybody. All right. So, Emiliano here at Black Horse Tattoo in Fredericksburg is where you need to come. And I'm going to see if we can get him to at least tend our barbecue smoke out. If
Oh, I'm
not,
going. I'm there.
oh, please do. And you can compete if you want, even though you said you don't cook.
Oh, dude, I'll fucking eat.
But look at that shit, dude. We got it all in. It's 100% right there. So, right? Tell me about it.
Dude, shit, we did it. We got it. Like Dora the Explorer. We did it. We did it.
Oh, yeah, dude. I think it looks great.
Nah, I fucking came out good. Are you allergic to any adhesives?
No.
Okay, good. So I put this second skin bandage on you. Basically like a bandage you can leave on up to 24 to 48 hours. Take a shower with it. It's like a big sticker.
Okay.
It heals out your tattoos really fast. And
Before we cover it up, I would like you to just take a photo of it
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna
I can
take some pictures
post
of
and
it.
obviously tag you. My friend GI Genetics says we should do koi fish with cannabis.
Turn this way so that yeah, there we go. I'm gonna airdrop this to you. You have your phone?
Yep. So, we're gonna have to turn it on everyone for 10 minutes. Send to me. Bam.
Check it out. See if that works for you, man.
Yeah, looks good.
Oh yeah.
All right, so here, so this is really cool because I started this podcast here in 2022 when I took my sporadic trip to Vegas to MJ BizCon for the first time to see what it was all about, and that's where I met Canatrol, and then that's where everything kind of spiraled out. And the reason I'm wearing this raw is one, I love raw products, but two, when I first started the podcast, Raw was Josh Kesselman was one of my first interviews I did for the podcast. And I met him in Vegas. So I thought it'd be appropriate to wear this while I'm getting the tattoo. But this is the end of the live, guys. Thank you guys for being here. You want to shout yourself out real quick?
Thank you for joining us. Once again, Black Horse Tattoo Studios in Fredericksburg. Follow us on Instagram, and we have the Fredericksburg Tattoo Invitational coming up July 26th to 28th. Where I'll be tattooing them again. So thanks for joining.
Peace, guys. We'll see you real soon.
You know what's crazy about that, Josh? I know I tattooed his bodyguard.
Really?
And-
Josh Kesselman?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I've interviewed him twice.
he's
And
super nice.
yeah, the first time I ever met him, I was like, hey, listen, I'm a huge fan of yours. I have your products on me right now. I was like, can we please do an interview? I just started my podcast. And he's like, absolutely, let's do it.
Fuck yeah, dude. He's a down ass motherfucker for sure. I love his products. I was always a zigzag guy, but you know what? Fuck it.
So what does this do?
So this is the bandage. It's a second skin bandage.
Cool.
So basically what it does is it'll hold all your gunk and stuff under there like a Capri Sun. So it'll have like little pockets of
Like pus and
not
nastiness.
pus, like plasma, blood, all that other shit.
Okay.
But when it starts coming off, that means it's time to take it off. So if it starts peeling off like in a couple of hours, definitely peel it off and wash your tattoo with soap and water.
I just plan to take a shower in 3 hours then.
But if it doesn't come off, then just keep it on as long as it stays on. And that's all it really is, just this giant sticker, man.
Oh
A
wow.
waterproof sticker.
Yeah, because I saw one where a lady got a tattoo, but it looks like hers got infected and it filled up with like black. pus.
That's what it does. It'll hold everything under the bandage, and that's a good thing. So it won't affect your tattoo. It'll just kind of like
So if
out
it
in the
looks a
pockets.
little grody, that's okay
That's
too.
natural, man. Yeah. But if it just starts leaking through and stuff, then just take it off, man, and wash your tattoo. But other than that, you're good to go.
Dude, awesome. That's really cool, man. I really do appreciate
you.
that.
Yes.
Let me make sure that we are out here.
I can get the fan and move it this way, face you. Put it in. Yeah, 'cause it was too loud.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. And then I bitch. Yeah, no.